We have a hybrid policy that can be found on our website. Board members are expected to attend meetings in person unless they have a disability or an extraordinary circumstance. Excused members and members of the public will still be able to participate virtually. Members who are joining via Zoom, there are two of you, must leave your cameras on. The meeting will be streamed live on our YouTube channel, and a transcript is being recorded. Welcome. Leslie, you got it.
Oh, yeah, okay, great. So, we have a few things on our agenda tonight. I know, EDC was going to present on their recently released Blue Highways program, which we have talked about this committee a few times over the years. Unfortunately, they have to be accompanied by DOT, so they couldn't get it together enough in time. But they will present at our transportation committee meeting, but we are gonna show the plans to everyone, just so everyone knows and can see it. So that's not on the agenda. So officially on our agenda right now, we are going to talk to DSNY, and then Parks will provide an update. But we are very happy to have DSNY here. I think I told you guys that I met Frank, so he's a very high ranking official. I'll just like put you all the way up there. But we met on a walkthrough of the Columbus Circle, right, with Gail Brewer. And we got to talking about different issues in our district. And when I asked him to come to our committee, he was gracious enough. Even though starting his workday at 4:30 in the morning, he would wait and come in person to see us. So
And that's why we're doing 6 o'clock.
yeah, that's exactly, and that's why we're starting at 6 o'clock to just, he could get home and get some sleep.
I fall asleep in the next half hour, so.
Yeah,
Might be
so
nodding off.
why don't you just get up and you guys get up and talk for a little bit, and then I think it's gonna be a lot of Q&A, but
Yeah.
introduce yourselves and what's going on in our district and.
Welcome.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Stephen Russo. I'm the superintendent for our Bureau of Public Affairs, Sanitation, and with me, the esteemed guest of honor is Assistant Chief Frank Otero. He is the Commissioner and Director of Operations. So, if it's okay with everyone, I'd like to just maybe start off with some agency updates, just some general information about your district, and then we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, at the top of my list, composting is mandatory. All right, I just want to make that very clear. It is mandatory. Right now, we are in an educational period. But make no mistake, you are supposed to be doing it. All right, that includes both food scraps and yard waste. So if anyone has any questions about that, more than happy to answer them. But again, I just want to make it clear that we are supposed to be composting.
Do we like compost or we don't like compost?
Love it.
So then I'll let you know that we hit our record high last week, 2,900 tons of organic waste, which is our highest ever since we started our camp. So we are hoping to break 3,000 this week. With leaves coming down in the rain, so we are at our highest number in the history of sanitation.
That's collected material.
Yes.
Where does the material go?
So we go to our organic dumps, we have, how many organic dumps sits? We have one in the Bronx, those out, jams, they go to organic dumps, they're all composted, separated and composted.
And the compost is being,
Distributed, compost is distributed, we have our compost distribution sites. That now will be in each borough each year, it used to be just in Queens East and we would do sporadic, but now every spring and throughout the summer, we have compost distribution sites in every single borough.
fabulous.
Usually we go back to twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, you make an appointment, you go there, you get a job. Much compost, not as much compost as you want, but significant amount, probably more than you need.
Great material.
Yeah.
Are you taking questions now, or do you want to?
No, why don't we, on compost?
Yeah, I'm composting.
What do you, is that okay? Do you mind?
Of course.
We don't want this to be too formal, we can do.
Yeah.
So mandatory to compost, which is great. I know began in April. Our building doesn't have any of the compost bins and we've requested it. So what do we do in terms of, do you have involvement once? I don't know, like how do you enforce sort of if buildings aren't compliant?
How many units are you building?
140?
Okay, so your building is definitely in the enforcement phase where we come out and we do some warnings. After 3 warnings, we send a team out to do some education, but we'll actually sit down, we'll try to find the owner, the maintenance The people who take care of your refuse and your organics, and we'll try to educate them, we'll do an online class, we'll send them pamphlets, we'll give them stickers, we'll give them every piece of information we can. At the 4th warning, we'll start issuing summonses,
Okay,
and that's what it is, so I will take your information, I'll see, we'll take your information before we leave tonight, but then the other way is also call 311 and just say, I live in a building that's not composting, we really want them to compost. We get it every day,
yeah,
it's a
okay,
big problem citywide, and we're working on correcting that.
okay, thanks.
All right, next I'd like to mention that containerization is mandatory for buildings with 1 to 9 units. All right, so if you live in a building with 1 to 9 units, you're supposed to be containerizing all trash. We are running a pilot program right now with the Manhattan Community Board 9, where the whole district is containerized. Those are the larger stationary containers that you see out on the street. That program up to this point has been very successful. We get a lot of positive feedback about it, so much that we expanded into Brooklyn Community Board too. So, exciting stuff. We'll
Talk about this, right? Yesterday, for those of you who don't know, we were in city council chambers, and we passed 1123B, which is the RAT Act, which now makes containerization a real probable thing in New York City. Every single district community board will be containerized by 2032. So it gives us some time, but if anybody has seen the big gray empire plates that are in Manhattan Community Board 9, specialized truck that comes and side loads them, every single commodity, recycling, refuse, organics. It's the way of the future. We will be containerized, no more trash on the streets.
And how are you guys deciding, and how is it decided where they will be placed?
So we're doing a lot of analysis of, we're gonna try to spread it out, obviously, we're gonna go one borough at a time, we started with Manhattan Community Board 9, of course, Shauna Brady was one of the sponsors of the bill, Crystal Hudson was the one who passed the bill, she's in Brooklyn too. We're also looking at our rat data to see where the most rat sightings are, that's gonna be our focus, it's gonna be rolled out at a much faster pace than we first thought of. One of the things with the bill being passed was they gave us the time to pass it in, so we're gonna roll it out a little bit quicker. So I don't think our analysis is gonna go much. We did a lot of analysis to come up with Manhattan and Brooklyn too. I think now it's to start rolling out citywide by next year. Once we get the approval on the truck order, we'll start rolling it out. So it's gonna be based on rat sightings, it's gonna be based on density of buildings, because remember, it's still optional for 10 to 30, but 30 and above is gonna be mandatory. So we're gonna go to neighborhoods that have the most 30 and above, because we wanna put as many of these on the street as we can to stop the rats, right? And get as much garbage and things as we can. So we get that and the big.
So if there's a block and it has these 1 to 9.
Yeah.
Buildings with 1 to 9 units, those are gonna probably be prioritized over
No,
them.
so 1 to 9, 1 to 9 doesn't get empire. 1 to 9 is still gonna go with the regular
Container.
container,
Containerization.
DSNY come June 1st. You're gonna have to have the New York City bin, right? I think everyone should have gotten a letter that the city's giving you $55 to go buy your New York City bin. That's gotta be by June 1st, 2026. That's gonna be for your 1 to 9.
Gotcha,
Your 10 to 29.
yeah,
Those buildings have an option. Those buildings have an option to containerize, you can opt into the Empire bin, which will happy to supply. And you can get an Empire bin usually for 10 to 29, based on our analysis, it's only one container, one parking spot for each commodity, right? And if you don't opt in, you will have to containerize. You have 2 options for containerize. You can have 100 billy bins on the corner, which is not really conducive for any neighborhood. You can have 1 cubic yard tow trucks, which again, I don't think looks great, I think the Empire bins are great. That's option 2, and then 30 and above, you will be mandated to have it, there is no choice, every building 30 and over will have Empire bins.
so there could be, so say, like, just say my block has 20 buildings that are all over that.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be just bins up and down our block?
When will the bins be emptied? What shift?
It all depends, it's gonna, well, let me not say it's gonna stay here, because we're learning a lot about them, so the beauty of these are, they hold a lot of garbage. But we're not changing collection pickups right now, so Manhattan 4, you're a tri-district, you get picked up 3 times a week, you'll continue to get picked up.
No, what shift? 12 to 8, 5 to 1?
We change that every year, that all depends on.
So I notice a lot of the trash in our district,
Sure.
is on the 12 to 8.
Actually, no, right now you only have 18%.
Well, again, then I guess Hell's Kitchen is
Yeah.
12 to 8.
Yeah, so just to clear that up, so every year, right? We're going into what we call night cloud season, which is our snow season. It shifts, right? So in Manhattan, I believe we have 3 sections, right?
Yeah.
One section goes nights each winter, and it rotates. So we never have the same areas go nights. So to cover our snow number, make sure we have, so what we do is we put enough people nights to cover surprise snows, right? Just in case we get hit, I don't know if anyone saw today, we got hit with like 6 seconds of snow, it's the most insane thing. Everyone was panicking in my building, we were all looking at it, and thought it was over. But so to make sure we're always covered, we put a certain amount of people nights, and to make sure it's not the same areas every week, every year, we rotate, so it's one section that goes nights, that's all.
Yeah, but generally, anecdotally, I would say the majority of the waste in this community is picked up either overnight or early in the morning. Because no collection happens on 412.
Correct.
So my question is, how loud are these trucks compared to the Easy Pack that are incredibly loud?
Yeah,
I mean, like when they're dumping and then they have to shake to make sure things aren't frozen.
So these don't shake.
inside. Okay.
these don't shake, and honestly, I can't give you an honest answer of like a real answer of how loud they are. I mean. It's very hard for me to answer that question. Practically, because I'm with them all day, and I think I'm really honestly into it. And I'm sure what doesn't bother me might bother some people who are sleeping, and I'd be crazy not to think that. They don't shake, they're not like the Easy Pack where like the old machines, these are very side loaded, they come up, door opens, they done.
And so far, how has the maintenance been on that? Breakdowns?
Phenomenal, no, we lost one and it was unfortunately due to an accident. That was the only thing that had to be replaced, it was an unfortunate accident, and. None of that maintenance has been great, we have maintenance contract. I'll wash.
Can you speak up a bit just because there's.
Yeah,
people
I'm
online?
sorry, yeah, we have a maintenance contract, but they've been power walked already twice since they've been out. And I mean, listen, I don't know if anyone saw Sean Brady's interview yesterday, but. The same people who were complaining about losing their parking spots are now coming to him saying, thank God, because we don't see rats. So it's, I mean, this is New York, and it stinks to lose any parking, but. We are crazy to think it's okay to put garbage on the street, and I think all of us as New Yorkers, I'm lived here my whole life, I just turned 50 years old, I have 20 years in the Department of Sanitation. We just accepted it. We accepted walking down the street and seeing trash, because that's how it was always done, and I am not. I am almost a little embarrassed to say that, it took an outsider, Commissioner Tisch, to come in and say, what the hell are you guys doing? Why do we have trash all over the street? This is nuts. And this is the way of the future, so yeah, it's gonna stink to lose some parking spots, it's gonna stink to do things a different way. But in the future, where we are for the city that we live in, to be so far behind these other cities, it's crazy.
We have a board member online. Lisa, I'm guessing you want to ask a question about this?
Yeah, actually, maybe a little bit further back around current rules for buildings. On my entire block, and we have different size buildings. Even when people have the recycling bins, the different recycling bins, what's being put out for trash is the bins for the refuse and then bags for paper and for recycling. Is that correct? I mean, that's what everybody's doing. I'm just wondering if that's what's.
As of right now, there is no rule to containerize recycling.
Okay.
We were looking at passing it, right now it's on hold because we got the Empire Bin rule passed and we're gonna start with that. But with the studies we've done, if you separate your refuse the right way, you put organics where organics goes and you put refuse where refuse goes, your recycling should be minimal and it really doesn't attract rats if everything is separated the right way. So I'm not saying that it's not a priority, it's just not at the top of the list right now to reduce the rat population.
Okay, thanks. And actually, everybody's putting those in containers. They're just not putting those containers on the street. Thank you.
Where do you see schools? We're just gonna talk board first. It's okay. And then we can go to public. Is that okay? Great. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so what else, yeah?
All right, next, pretty straightforward, special waste sites, that are open to the public, so you can bring some items that we don't collect curbside. We extended the hours, so we used to be open once a week, now we're open 3 days a week. So that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 9 to 5. All right, the special waste site here in Manhattan is at 74 Pike Slip. So if you want- Yes, exactly. So if you want to bring paints, for some bulbs, batteries, e-waste, we collect it there. All right,
What was the address again? I'm sorry.
74 Pike Slip.
Pikes.
And when we're talking about drop-off sites, we have a textile drop-off site now. Here in Manhattan, we have in all the boroughs. The one in Manhattan is open on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're open 8 to 4. It's in East Harlem. 2495 Second Avenue.
Great.
Okay. And also we are hiring snow laborers. 'Tis the season, right? Yes, word, snow. We're preparing for that. So we're hiring snow laborers. It's a very simple process. I've actually brought the flyers as well as some other literature and recycling decals. Go on the website, click on the link, you set up an appointment, you'll have to go to your nearest garage, you go on in, you show them the documentation that's required, we'll get you on the list. And then when we need you, we call you.
You're not gonna sand when there's only like half an inch of snow on the ground this year, are you? I'm sure you hear both ways, right?
You know, I will say it's gotten better. There were times we definitely oversalted, right? You drive down the street, you almost can't breathe.
Plus the manhole fires.
Totally.
Yeah, you can't really, us.
Well, the
The
salt
salt
and the
goes
water
to the concrete,
froze
right?
and it
So,
caused the fires.
yeah.
There were a lot of them last year because there was a lot of salt.
Yeah, I thought last year we actually used one of our least amounts because we went with brine. Yeah,
Oh, no,
we went with
There,
brine.
there were some
Yeah.
real rough intersections.
So to go with snow, we just purchased an additional 12 brine flushers.
Yeah.
Brine is really just liquid salt that we pre-treat the roads with, so we can drop less salt later. We started using it mostly on the highways. And we just expanded into city streets because it does help a lot if we know a storm is coming. Although these days they tell us it's gonna snow, it never snows, right? So we just wind up grinding everything and then it never snows anymore. Listen, it's a slippery slope, right?
That's the point.
It's a slippery slope, yeah, to be literal.
Better safe. than
One
sorry.
accident,
Yeah.
one death is way too much for us, right? And as a department, you know, I can tell you that I worked in the Bronx many years ago where unfortunately a whole family skidded off the Bruckner Expressway. Dropping 20 feet and dying. And it, as an agency, we take that personally because that's our responsibility. And I'd really rather hear, because I do a lot of town halls and green wills that there's too much salt on the floor than ever hear something dying. And it's really a tough call to make. And I work directly for the commissioner. I don't envy the calls he has to make sometimes, because you have to get out there and you have to make that decision where we wanna drop salt in here. You know, we social media, right? We get social media all the time, what are you guys doing? I can't breathe, my cholesterol's going up, there's so much salt on the ground, but. It's sometimes a precautionary measure.
And then are there any impacts to the snow money from the federal government, or DSNY has enough?
No, so we don't get any federal money, it's all state. And yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's all, we're covered, our snow budget is city owned, none of this is, like, we have a snow budget, but the truth of the matter is. If we had 20 blizzards and we went over our snow, it's unlimited for snow,
Yes.
so. I wish it was unlimited for cleaning, I would be a great city, but it's unlimited for snow when it comes down to we're always looking at city hall very good to us when it comes to that. So, look, before we take any other questions, I just want to talk about one more thing that's extremely important, because I think in community board 4, you touch so many bids, right?
Yeah.
34th Street, Hell's Kitchen, Lincoln Square,
Garment,
Times Square,
garment district.
Garment District, Meatpacking District. So I'm not sure,
Chelsea,
and Chelsea. And Chelsea, yeah.
Chelsea.
There's a bid.
No, there's no bid.
no
This is
bid.
a
Bid.
district.
There's no bid in Chelsea. yeah.
Bid,
Chelsea,
bid,
you have-
for a bid,
Oh,
a
sorry.
bid, that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
Chelsea has
yeah.
packing on the outside, really.
Step
Yeah.
one, meat packing,
Meatpacking's in Chelsea, out on the outskirts of Chelsea, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, so. I'm sure everyone's heard because it really started off. Not great, but it ended up, I think we're in a really good place, that we passed the law. That went into effect August of last year, but it's enforceable January of 2026. Where just like we spoke about the containers. All bids will now have to be containerized, so the bids for many, many years. Great partner to DSNY, a lot of them do phenomenal work, like we again, just going back to my early career, I'd probably have a broken back working in the South Bronx if it wasn't for the White Plains Road bid, who helped us out by bagging all the garbage. But for years, they would bag the garbage and they would leave it next to the corner baskets. And obviously, that is a smorgasbord for rats, right? So no more bags on the corner. So now bids will be required to buy what we call city bids. City bins are a nice box looking, beautifully decorated, where it will go in either the street or the sidewalk in different bids. They will take their bags, I'll answer your question in 1 second, they'll put it in that container and we will come empty that container. For many months of fighting from Commissioner Lohan, the bids were approved for a nice big payday from City Hall, so all their containerization is being funded now. They will not be required to spend any money. So it's really, really a good thing. The city is paying for their containers.
And that has to be put out January 2026?
So it's never gonna be out, right, because they just got the money really in the October resolution and the November resolution, we're asking them now, this is actually my program, so I deal with every single one of the bid directors, what we're asking them, I've done over 87 walkthroughs, there's 77 bids, some of them we've done twice. We've met with every single bid, we've done citing, we've done approvals, we've set them up with the companies. We're asking them to at least have ordered the bins by January 1st. The company's now, like anyone else, a little overwhelmed. We don't plan on summoning any bid. They're a partner of us. We don't want to summons them. So as long as they're working in good faith with us and they have a bid on order, or they apply for their applications and are just waiting, we're gonna work with them and getting that done.
Was there pushback from them at all, or
Yeah,
no?
there was extreme pushback in the beginning, yeah.
Because they didn't want them on the street? Because it's the same, I'm guessing it's the thing that's on the street as well,
No.
or not necessarily.
For an
Well, I-
additional
I
expense.
just want.
It was funding.
Yeah,
They weren't worried about the work so much, they were worried about the funding, right? Because these bids are. It's funny because I've come to learn so much about them because I've done so much work with them. They're on a tight budget, and it's very hard for them to get their assessment raised. It's years and years of fighting to get their assessment raised. And then you go to certain bids that are in, mixed neighborhoods, like, for instance, Morris Park. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Morris Park in Bronx, but they have a whole commercial area. And then it skips like 3 blocks. And then it goes commercial again, it's 3 blocks of residential. The bidder's responsible for those 3 blocks, but they can't charge any of the
Right,
homeowners a
right.
bid fee, so now. That's additional work that they have to do, so.
Yeah.
It was strictly a financial issue for them, every bid I spoke to in the morning. And over the last 2 years that we've been working on this, they didn't like the way it was rolled out. Me, I have no problem admitting that prior administration did not roll it out the right way, the communication between the bids and sanitation was not great. When Commissioner Lohan came over and then put me more in charge, but I think we made an effort to contact each bid personally, go out, do the walkthroughs, meet with each bid director. And we got them the money, and that's the bottom line, because every bid you spoke to say, listen, we love container station, we don't wanna see garbage on the street, we want to containerize. We can't pay for it.
and do they have to put it, are there any parameters where they have to put these bins or no?
So there are DOT regulations that we
Oh, it's
work with them, myself,
okay.
Steve, and then the whole containerization team will go out, we'll actually do the measurements for them, the applications for them, we'll tell them where they can go, where they can't go. We'll pre-approve all the sites, they still submit the application to DOT, but we kind of almost like when you file for a mortgage and the bank says, make sure this is filled out right, we'll make sure their application is filled out right, so it's gonna get approved by DOT.
Okay, I'm just, I know you raised your hand, right, but I just want one more on that, I'm sorry. But it could be on the sidewalk, it could be on the, it could be on the street, it could be wherever, depending on the parameters of the bid.
Correct.
Gotcha, okay.
Katie had her hand up first.
Oh.
You
Thank you,
mentioned
Matt.
city bin.
Yeah.
Initially I was gonna ask if the bids had other options.
Metro Store is another company.
Okay,
So, well, let me not take it. They have any option they want, as long as we don't care what they, there's regulations, right? DOT has certain regulations on height,
yeah,
size, weight.
I just wanted to check, because then when you said that they got funding for it, I was wondering if that meant city bin got some kind of contract or.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
The bids are like meat packing, right? This affects you because meat packing said, I don't know if you guys know Evan Sweet, who is the director of the meat packing district. Evan hates city bin and he hates Metro Store. And he actually put out his own procurement to go find something that really is, I mean, meatpacking is beautiful, right? It's a landmark district. He's very particular on what he gets, so he put out his own little procurement to find something, and we don't we have no stake in the game of what they buy as long as it meets the requirements. He's gonna get the funding that he applied for no matter. what.
Yeah, and so, this committee did actually write a letter against this legislation,
Yeah,
Leslie, do you remember? Or the rule?
I do not remember. actually.
Yeah.
We did.
yeah, the whole thing.
So that takes care of the bids, they got their payday, what about Ace and
Ace got their thing.
they? And how does that work for Ace? Is it based on where they currently have city contracts?
Well, Aces are very unique, right, because they work for 50 or 43 out of the 50 something council members, right, they have different contracts. James Martin, who runs Ace. For the most part. Over the last 10 years, his routes have not changed, other than adding new council members, so we actually did. Out of his four, I want to say I did 20 with Ace alone, not even counting in the 70 something walkthroughs we did, I think I did 20 with James.
Did you do any of them in this community district?
No, so Manhattan, we're gonna do, he's not gonna get bins in Manhattan, we're gonna do a little bit different for Ace, he only has like 4 council members in all of Manhattan. And we're gonna work that a little bit different, we're gonna actually. So, let me rewind, because I missed one second. One of the options the bids have, like Garment District is a heavily funded district, right? Heavily funded bid, they chose that they're gonna take all their trash, never leave it on the street, they're gonna bring it to our garage. We gave every single bid the option to bring it to the closest sanitation garage. Times Square brings it to the garage. Lincoln Square used to bring it to the garage, but Monica's got enough bins now where she doesn't do that no more. Garment brings it to our garage. Flatiron brings it to our garage and they have containers.
Our big bid is Hudson Yards Hell's Kitchen, that's a
They,
big one in our.
Dan used to bring it. They don't bring it anymore, but Dan just got 21 containers, I think he ordered, so he's gonna have, he went with a different kind of model, I actually like his model. He went with more containers, smaller, like a lot of them are 14 feet long. He went with these 2-door containers and he's gonna put them more throughout his district, where his guys don't have to walk with the bags, so. He's gonna be in good shape, but he doesn't cart to our garages anymore. So we give everyone the option to cart to our garage or this. Ace in Manhattan is not gonna cart to our garage because he doesn't have that, but he's gonna have accessibility to one of our basket trucks at certain times of the day. At certain meeting points, because Manhattan's so accessible with our basket trucks.
So the Ace worker will have to bring all of their bags to a certain.
Well, to a certain point, but there's like designated points throughout the
Okay,
city. where they
I'm
don't have
just
to-
interested how that
Yeah.
would work in our district, particularly a lot of our routes are like 10-12 blocks along one avenue.
Yeah, so,
So that might need like 3 points.
yeah, it might, I don't have the list with me, but me and James went over and we walked it, and when we walked it, we didn't only walk it and say, okay, this is 2 blocks. James is extremely thorough. And he has a supervisor who actually used to be sanitation, his big Tom Gillett. And Tom and James not only did blocks, but they did friend. I know that on this block, my guy picks up 7 bags. He can walk with 7 bags up to the next block, and we can each truck there. On this block, there's only 3, so he can walk. They move every single block and everything, so we have a lot of bags. Ace is in good shape, plus they got $1 million out of it.
And I just want to quickly note, as the founder of the community cleanup group, I'm still upset the DSNY did not remove community groups and neighborhood associations from the legislation, even though you said you plan not to enforce it on us.
Yeah, so I think Commissioner Mohan made it very clear on his.
It's just unfortunate because if this commissioner leaves, the rule is the rule, and it can be enforced any way it wants to be.
Well,
So it's unnecessary to be there. We don't need to debate it. I'm just-
no, but here's the beauty, the commissioner's not leaving, and he's not the commissioner. You know, right?
He's acting.
He's the acting commissioner, which means he's the first deputy commissioner, so no matter what happens January 1st, only 1 or 2 things can happen, right? They can name a new commissioner.
Well, eventually he'll retire. You know, so I'm just saying, when rules are put into the administrative code, they're there until they are changed.
Yep.
So that's it.
I remember that one, and Matt,
Kitty covered my question. I was curious about the like ACE and other sort of community groups that are.
But we
you know,
have a program, for the Volunteer 2 program, Love Your Block program. We have programs that all we ask is for the community groups. Call us up, let us know what you're doing. Hey, I'm cleaning this block on this day, and I'm gonna be working until 2 o'clock, and here's my finish point. We'll have a truck there. We'll supply you with tools, we'll supply you with gloves.
We'll give
I
it-
definitely understand, I don't wanna debate this, because I understand, I've debated this for the last 2 years, I understand 100%. I can tell you, I'm not going nowhere for a very long time, there will never be a community board that gets a summons. Mark my words. That's in stone.
Thank you.
Every summons in this program can be authorized by one person. That's me. And I don't, not saying that to make it, but yeah, this is my approach.
Appreciate
We're
it.
not here to hurt anyone. We're here to clean the city. That's it.
Thank you.
Renee, go ahead, sorry, Dylan, thank you.
Yeah.
I told you I saw the right person.
Okay, so, those are the agency updates. Now, I'm just gonna give you some general information about some of the services that take place here in Community Board 4. I'll give you a general overview, and then, we'd be happy to answer any specific questions. All right, so as Chief Lieutenant had mentioned a little bit earlier, you're a tri, right, so that means that you get picked up 3 times a week, that's the maximum, amount of service for house-to-house collection. It doesn't include containerized collection, that's only for the lines, but house-to-house, it's gonna be 3 times a week is the max, that's what you receive. Litter basket service, talking about litter basket service, the corner baskets, you are saturated, with service, this community board as well as the other community boards here in Manhattan see more service than a lot of other, some of the outer boroughs, right? That's just because of the amount of pedestrians and foot traffic, that we have here, but with that being said, you're being serviced multiple times per day. Every, that includes Sundays, that includes holidays,
So we had, I believe we had, a Monday.
This is the
Thursday-
Gap truck, I was telling Katie,
Is it Monday,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, or Monday, Thursday, Saturday?
I have it written
It was
down.
Monday, Friday, Saturday, maybe we ended in 11 to 7.
We did, we added
Monday, Thursday, Saturday.
Monday, Thursday, Saturday, 11 to 7. Yeah, so this was, guys, this was when I met Frank, we were talking about basket pickup. And I said that, our baskets are overflowing, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. But he said a lot of that was to do with illegal dumping and people kind of, which you were talking about, Jim.
Which is really, it's more misuse than illegal dumping. And
Gotcha,
and the
I don't wanna
difference Between illegal dumping is when someone backs up a van and they dump their stuff. Misuse, unfortunately, is what we see throughout the city, and that's really just someone coming out of the building with their regular household trash. And they fill up a full thing because they don't wanna wait for you.
Yes,
That's really what we see in this community.
okay, and we will
What
talk about.
about businesses putting their trash next to corner baskets?
Happens every day. We summons them, so with businesses, actually now with the new law that passed, with residents too, our enforcement team can rip open the bed. If there's mail, if there's more than two viable proofs, which could be prescription, we can write it.
And that includes residential and businesses.
Right. So it's always been, I'm sorry, it's always been that way for businesses, we can always write that something, they repassed it, now we can do it for residential. We learned about these shows for
Well,
us.
we kind of did that in
In the pandemic, we did, and then it stopped, and then it just came back, yes,
Got it.
yeah.
I was just gonna ask, is there an enforcement policy that allows citizens that witness, like, for example, today, I watched a business put contractor bags in the receptacle on the corner and took pictures of them. You're gonna rip open the bag and you see that it's just stone, because they're smart about how they, like, got rid of it.
Yeah,
And there's no identifying information. How do we report that kind of stuff?
so you can email, I can give you some email addresses before we leave, Steve, myself, our enforcement group. If the pictures actually show something that we can use, we would ask you to sign an affidavit and we would go after them.
Okay.
We would write them summonses, absolutely. There's also rewards. If you call 311 and we catch somebody and we impound anything, or we write something to get rewards for. Yeah,
But how hard is it to enforce? Can you just explain the enforcement on that? Because you said that's probably the biggest,
so
for our corner bins.
misuse is very hard. It's
Yeah.
very hard, because, listen. People aren't stupid, they know not to leave their mail in there, they know to rip the tag off the Amazon box. They understand what we can do, right? And it's very, very hard to enforce. I wish I could stand here and tell you we had a plan. We don't have a plan, although we were presented today with something that could work, where we finally have a camera proposal that is more feasible, because the cameras we were using were $30,000 each. And obviously, as a city agency, we can't afford too much of those. And city council did a great job by buying 331 cameras over the last 2 years. But unfortunately, they paid once And there's an upkeep on these cameras of about $8,000 per camera per year that falls on the department. So city council is nice that they buy them, but then if we wanna keep them up, we have to pay that expense. Today, we were presenting with a camera that is actually feasible. I don't know where we're going with it. I hope that we're going somewhere good with it, because if we can put these all over, when I say feasible, I mean that they would be all over the city. And we would have access to them. That can help us, because enforcement's very hard when it comes to misuse. We use a lot of NYPD's database as well.
Yeah.
When people call in. Yeah,
Are there any cameras in our district?
do you have that number? There are, I wanna say, I can find out, I know Boston North. I can find out exactly.
Yeah, I'm
how
just
many-
curious where they are.
Yeah, I
And
can
what are they
get
just
that.
wired, like, are they wired
So,
to?
yeah, we have two kinds of cameras, we call them wood event, right, some are on wood poles.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry, guys, it's hard to hear them, it's just hard to hear. Okay, go ahead.
Some are on wood poles and some are on metal poles.
Okay.
Two separate kind of cameras. Cameras are hard because we, as an agency, you know, I hate to, for lack of a better term, government, right? So we have to get DOT involved, we have to get Carnet involved, we have to get electricians union involved. There's a lot, and once they're up, if they're not positioned the right way, it costs us a lot of money to move them and everything else. But they're strategically placed in what we think, well, let me not say that either. Some council members have ideas of where they want them, and that's not always great, but we have to listen to them because they bought it. And I'm not saying that about this district, I'm talking
That was
citywide now.
right, right.
And then there's some cameras where we know our known locations. And you know, I just gave the commissioner number, said, they give them fiscal year 25. That's not fiscal year, calendar year 25. We have 351 impounds and over 500 summonses, and that's just from the cameras and illegal dumping or misuse.
Well, I mean, that's a very good, by the way, social media campaign of yours. When I look online, you sometimes, wherever that camera is, you see some people, and it's
Yeah.
bigger than our district, but it's unloading dump like trucks, pickup trucks, and they just throw them in the parks, or they throw them on the side of the highway. And you get them on the camera and then you put it online and show everyone, and yeah.
It's a big problem that seems like it got worse in the pandemic and just never stopped.
Do you have, I know people kind of get a little, especially these days, a little weird with cameras, especially if they're gonna go all over the district. I'm not saying that's gonna happen immediately. I'm just saying if that's what, have you gotten any pushback on that front?
People love them,
Really?
people love them.
Okay.
And just side note, maybe this is too much information, Steve and I both worked for a while for NYPD. I had a division called HIDA, which is that High Intelligence Drug Trafficking Agency. Don't worry about cameras, there's cameras every single place over the city.
They're already.
You have no idea. That's, I'll leave it at that, but
Yes.
The sanitation cameras you're saying are not gonna,
sanitation cameras, you have nothing to worry about, because the police department is watching a discretion ear, they know. They saw it.
good to
So,
know.
Yeah,
Okay, I do wanna thank you, because when we were talking, just to go back to the Gap truck.
Yep.
And I said that, you know, it was our baskets were overflowing, our corner baskets, especially in specific areas. And then you told me about the problem of people, you know, dumping where they shouldn't dump, but then you also very quickly, and I was very happy, added that Gap truck.
Yeah.
So guys, we should thank him that it was, I mean, like, we gave him our problem, seriously. And he quickly, within like, it was really within a few weeks, you emailed me and you were like, thank you for letting me know.
Yep.
I added a Gap truck, make sure it's in your budget for next year, so
Yeah,
we
so
can, and we did, right, Roberta? Roberta is, she's the head of our budget task force who kind of goes over our district needs.
what I can help you with that I think will go further, right? And I meant to bring it tonight, but just today was one of those days where I didn't get to prepare as much. I don't have the exact numbers, but I can stand here and say that I will get them for you. Your overflowing basket complaints are down over the last 3 months since we put the truck on.
Really,
That I looked at, and I can get you the exact.
thank you to this committee.
I can get you the exact numbers on that, but your overflowing basket complaints are down.
We'd love the exact number,
Yeah,
but that's,
absolutely.
that's,
I can get
that's
that
fabulous.
one
it's
to
been a
see how it
complaint,
came down.
it's been a complaint around this table. For a
Yeah,
while.
so it's funny because this district is so weird, right, as a sanitation worker. Right, as a sanitation worker, I worked in Boston, I came out of town to Manhattan for a lot, and as a sanitation worker, it's where you're supposed to work, right, in water. Times Square, beautiful, there's always a great day coming, you love picking up baskets. As a boss, it's hard, because it's such a busy area, you know, installing baskets is such a big problem. Homelessness is a big problem, English feeding is, that's what I see as the 3 biggest problems, I don't see vending. Vending is a little bit of a problem, especially in Times Square, but not anywhere near compared to the rest of the city. I think the 3 biggest problems here that we need to work on graffiti. Baskets. What is the other ones? Oh my god, homeless is 12th Avenue, the old car washes, I mean, we clean that 4 times a week.
The homeless encampments, you mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was on 46 to 47.
Yeah, were they living in there? There have been a couple fires in that building.
I don't know if they were living in there, because they're never allowed in, obviously for labor, but. 40 on
Outside.
12th, and then. I guess the more north side is 47th, right, 47th going up, especially when that scaffolding was up, they were under there for a while, and then they were up by the car dealership, which was right on 11th. That was, I mean, again,
And then also,
we had some numbers.
how are things on 39th between them and Washington?
By Lincoln, that's by going on to Lincoln.
Yeah, by
right?
the old,
Yeah.
they-
So those are actually the same, people from 47. Yeah,
Question.
that was, and listen. I don't ever talk politics or want to get political, but I will tell you that Mayor Adams did a great job because he was the one who put the task force together. That really took care of 46, 47, and 39. They have their own task force. No one knows that. But out of quality of life, we have a 12th Avenue task force.
Is that related to the Midtown Community Improvement Coalition?
This is the 12th Avenue task force. It doesn't just go through Community Board 4. It runs all of 12th Avenue, coast to coast, because. I mean, even on our building, on 57th Street, you have homeless again outside their street. You know, so
Is it 12th Avenue Task Force an NYPD initiative?
it's a city initiative that basically is run by Quality of Life and.
Oh.
Community Link. Community Link was another, program, so on the Commissioner Tish, when she worked with the police department, that combines parks, sanitation, DEP.
Yeah, so that was a big time improvement.
FDNY,
Yeah, we have it a little north.
But that's,
I didn't realize it's 12th Avenue Task Force,
well, that's just one division of the Quality of Life,
right,
2 teams.
right, I didn't know.
Like the.
I mean, it's not really private or secret, we don't let it out, obviously, because. We just, the element of surprise is great, but it's scaled back a little bit, but during the summer, we were out. So normally when we do our homeless cleanups, we go during the day where most is, so with the 12th Avenue task force, we tried something a little bit different, and we started at 6 P.M. And we ran 6 P.M. to 2 in the morning. And we just, it was a little bit more productive at night, because believe it or not, we were able to get them more help, they were more accepting of going into shelters and accepting the help of DHS rather than. PD just started, moving them along, sanitation, taking some of their stuff that they deemed not personal. And then they would just move to another spot. When we started doing it at night, and I mean, you would have to call DHS for the numbers, but we saw more of the clients actually going and taking services.
And can you just give me I'm sorry, what's the boundaries of that, the 12th Avenue Task?
And it's all of 12th Avenue, it actually started past, so I would say probably somewhere in the 70s. And there was no real boundary set, it depends where we saw on campus, and PD would tell us to meet us here, but we would run the whole way back to Justin Pierce.
Okay, so it's, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You have more stuff on your list.
Wait, hold on, no, I'm not done. So you just said the overflowing baskets complaints were down since the gap truck was added. So can you keep that gap truck?
Yeah, it's there.
It's not going anywhere, right? Cause I remember when we talked, you said, let's try it for a year, and then, but it was $200,000 or something. But you have now seen the value and the result, so it's not, thank you.
It's not.
Thank you.
I'd like to get into the other 3 days of the week, but that's a work in progress.
We'll work on that,
Yeah, right now it's 3 days a week, so.
okay,
That was baseline, that was part of our baseline cleanings. Initiatives that we got on July 1st this year. That was it.
okay,
So when I put our plan together, I was one of them, that's not good.
okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, so while we're talking about homeless conditions, I just want to let you know how it walked in, we're out there addressing them. Kind of explain the process a little bit too, this way everybody understands how it works. So DHS is the lead agency on the cleanings, right? They have to go on out there and they have to engage the client before we can go there and do a cleaning. So we act as support essentially. They take the lead, they call us in when we're gonna do a cleanup, and we'll go in and we'll move the items that are.
who's calling?
So
DHS.
DHS, they're the lead agency.
Okay. Okay, so they call you canceling?
Well, so
So the issue is that
there's a few different ways to that, right? So anyone can report a homeless condition. You call 311. There's so many different ways.
Pick up a little bit.
Sure, our supervisors report them, right? NYPD reports them. Elected officials report them, civilians report them, community reports them. Every single week, we have a list. we have two lists. We have a running list of what we call our known locations, our hotspots. And then we have our new pop-up list. A law was passed earlier this year, local law, where DHS has to go out and engage the client for 7 days before anything else can happen. So DHS will go out, they'll go to 47th and 12th, and they'll post signs. And the signs will say, on whatever 7 days is, on this day, we will be out here with the joint homeless task force. And we will be conducting a cleanup of this area, you will no longer be permitted to stay here. During that 7-day period, DHS will return every single night and offer services to the client. On the 7th day, that schedule is now cleaned up. We will go out with DHS, NYPD, and then based on where it is, if it's a city street, it will be sanitation, if it's in a park, it will be parks, if it's on a bridge, it will be DOT. Whatever agency has jurisdiction, DHS will again offer services. If the client refuses services, PD will step in and say, you are no longer here. Whatever you deem personal, you can take. We don't touch your personal items. Whatever you leave behind is trash and sanitation will take. We don't voucher, we don't take anything back. You're allowed to keep whatever you want to keep, as long as you can move along with it. Everything else is garbage. That's how the whole homeless cleanup.
Okay, I think there are a couple of issues to see how far, this is one of our issues, because we, in the area that I live, we have, the Limelight, which is just, the new homeless encampment.
Sure.
And we have been in touch with the 13th citizen,
Yep.
who has been in there. It's after, the people are there at night, and then they leave and all the garbage is there. So, it was one of the things that I was going to address, because you have been talking about it. But now I know how it works, because we have been talking, I didn't know what comes first.
Yeah,
So now I understand.
so I know where you're talking about, very familiar with it. The problem with that area is they're not encampments. Those are transient homeless, right?
They
They
what?
transient, they come in at night, they stay for a few hours and they move. They're not really bedding down over there, they're not sleeping, they're more hanging out, causing a mess, maybe they'll sleep for 2 hours. So with that,
How do you know that? In other words, when I go by at night, there's 15 or 20 of them.
hanging out, right?
Yeah, I don't know what time.
Because by the time we,
No, it's hard.
so we do checks throughout the whole city,
Okay,
around the clock, 7 days a week. We have a supervisor in every single community board, on every single shift, every single day. Also with NYPD, Chief Billy Glenn and the Q team, they also are checking these same sites. We kind of call each other and we'll check this, we'll check that. And a lot of these sites in the morning, when we go check them, they're not there.
yeah, just the garbage,
Correct, just the garbage. The homeless have moved on.
right.
So those are transient homeless where they're a little bit harder to really catch up with everybody else because they're constantly moving around, making a mess. And in that case, sanitation just comes and cleans up after them
And you do that regularly.
regularly, every day,
Okay,
every day. And if you see it and it's not being cleaned, please contact Steve and he'll reach out to me and we will make sure we get it clean. And if you see it's becoming a problem, let us
I'm
know.
gonna take emails.
Yeah, absolutely,
I am,
absolutely.
okay, that's good.
Yep.
Thank you.
And just to get a sense of the amount of cleanups that we do for encampments, we're talking dozens every week, 25 plus locations each week, so we're out there, we're working.
Does the category of, empty storefronts fall into this area? Because what we have all along in our community also are the empty storefronts where, 2 or 3 people will gather, and then leave their trash. And who's the people that own, the landlords that own the buildings, that they should be keeping that clean, correct, or not? I mean,
I would say that they're in the empty storefronts, or they're.
yeah, they sleep in
The entryway, they're outside, but they're not inside.
And then they leave their garbage, and it's, Sixth Avenue is awful, I know all neighbors have that. But who is theoretically, I guess, the owner of the property should be doing it, but they're not, so is that something that sanitation is doing
So we'll issue a summons first
to the property owner?
to the property owner.
And how frequently do you do that, because it's all the time, I mean, I think they're down.
So this is the big point we wanna talk about, remember?
Yeah, so you're talking about more of a business or a residential or mixed use?
No, it's what's like an empty Verizon store.
Yeah.
That's one of
What's
those.
the mixed use building, are there apartments above, is it just?
No, just the street level storefront,
So,
I mean, I guess there's all kinds, but these are the kinds that I'm talking about now.
sure, so,
Just the only space where there's just people sleeping in the entranceway and then the.
absolutely, so. One of the things we spoke about, which we're trying, and Gail Brewer is helping us. As a department, we're handcuffed with certain things, right? We can only write summonses 2 times a day. During 2 hours a day. Think about that, think about how dirty the city is. And we can only write a business. A summons. During what's called the routing hour.
Excuse me, how are those summonses delivered, because there's nobody in the store?
We can't write it when it's closed.
Looking there, so what happens then?
So the building owner is supposed to come and clean, right? So he's sleeping in the Verizon building. Normally, when it's something like that, PD will move them along. Okay, we'll clean. We have no other recourse but to clean it because we cannot write that business summons because the business is closed. Right? Every community board has routing hours, right? You have a residential routing hour, you have a commercial routing. Residential routing hour is the same for the whole city. It's 8 AM to 8:59. And then it's 6 PM to 6:59. During those 2 hours is the only time sanitation can write your house a summons for dirty sidewalk or dirty 18 inches into your garden.
Wait, can you repeat? I'm sorry, routing hours for residential is what?
8 AM to 8:59. 6 PM to 6:59.
Okay, so 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour.
That's it. That's it. So if you have a neighbor who's making a mess all day, we can't write them other than those 2 times, huh? For businesses. It's called a commercial routing hour. They are different than every single subsection of New York City. So it's not a uniform like residential. Some of the commercial routing hours in some of the business districts start at 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 to 11 is the first one. But there's a law that says we cannot write a business in the first hour that they're open. So guess what? We just lost a whole hour. Or there are some stores that open at 11 AM. We just lost a whole hour. So now we have 1 hour in the afternoon to write that business. Gail Brewer is helping us. We have a few other council members. We're trying to pass a law right now where we can write a business as summons from the minute it opens to the minute it closes. They will be responsible for the front of their store. We're hoping that passes.
So this is what I really want to talk about this, because I think this is one thing
I think it's the most important thing in the
this
city, right?
is by
Oh, yeah,
far,
the blooms.
I'll tell you why, because what we see a lot is the trash all over the street, right? Or on the sidewalk, on the street. I mean, mostly you see it where there are storefronts, like whether it's fast food restaurants or, but anywhere. And it used to be where people would go out and they would sweep 3 times a day, or, or 4 times a day. And then, the workers or whatever, and go back and it was fine. Now it's just everyone, it's just a mess and no one's coming out. And when I talked to you about this, I was shocked to find out, or surprised to find out that you can't really summons because your hands were tied because of the hours, and it was a little, kinky, not kinky, a little like, weird about
Yeah.
that. So, what is the bill and what is DSNY? Like, what is the request from DSNY? And what do you think, what would help?
So I don't think the bill has been totally written out yet. Gail Brewer is working on it with Julie Bennon and a few other council members. I don't
Okay.
have all that information yet because it's in the infant stages. But it is a bill that will basically say that sanitation can write a commercial summons. I don't think we're gonna get from opening to close. I think we're gonna get from an hour past opening. That's what we're gonna put in for. We'll give them an hour in the morning, so 1 hour past your opening until the store closes. That will be for stores that have posted hours. If you don't have posted hours, I believe it will be like 10 AM to 7 PM. That hasn't been worked out yet, because this is in the infant stages right now. But we're hoping by next year this happens.
What
So-
are the fines? I mean, is it?
Well, hold on, I just want just 1 minute. So with the hours, so that obviously will give you discretion where you can go at noon, you can go at 1 o'clock instead of being, okay, and what is the pushback with that?
So far, we have, like I said, because, well, let me not say that, there's a lot of council members who don't ever want to start summonses. It's just what it is. Some people don't like summonses, they don't understand that it's a necessary tool.
We don't wanna write summonses, we want clean streets, right? I used to tell people when I was a supervisor, if someone was running out and saying, oh, I'm gonna move my car. And then I'd say, okay, move your car, and they'd say, oh, you're so nice, don't let me move, and I would say, I don't wanna write you summons, I wanna clean the streets, so if you move when my broom can come, I can care less, right? That's what my goal is, to clean the streets. That's all we wanna do. They think, right, the whole city always says this is a money grab, right? The city wants to make more money, the city wants to make more money because that's what everyone thinks. I can only speak for the Department of Sanitation. We want clean streets, we want clean sidewalks, we don't wanna run summonses. The pushback is small businesses getting summonses, that's always the pushback between the assembly, the senate, the local, council members. That's always a pushback, and I understand it, right? I definitely understand, there's probably some people who get some unfair summonses and everything else, there's some people who deserve it. The big stores don't care, it's the cost of doing business, it's $100 summons, so if you're making, whatever you're making a day. To get $100 summons, maybe twice a week, cost of doing business, they don't care. But it's a tool, enforcement's a tool,
Yeah, that would make a big deal
that would make a big
with
difference,
clean streets.
yeah.
Okay, Sally, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to know what the motivation was, but there you have it,
Our only motivation is to clean the
City
city.
to you, I meant, I meant the people who are getting the summonses, do they care, do they care about getting the summons, does it matter to them?
I don't think they care now, but I think if we expanded the hours and they were getting more summonses, and the summonses were progressive, then they'd care.
And I'm still concerned about the ones that are closed businesses and keeping up with that garbage, because there's as many of those as there are stores that are open.
Yeah, so if it's abandoned. If it's abandoned, our regular day-to-day field supervisor cannot do anything, but he will refer to our enforcement team. Who will get in contact with the owner and find him.
And how frequently does that happen?
I think it can only happen once a week. I'm not 100% sure, I don't wanna speak out of turn, I would have to double check, but I believe on an abandoned property, you can only write them once a week. You have to get them adequate time to come out and clean before you can write them again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, so 2 more points I wanna make. One
For the
which is
public.
pretty quick, needles and syringes, so. We do collect needles and syringes, we pull everyone, there's no complaints, we're out there very quickly to service it. That being said, we do have some pre-scheduled routes that go out. In community board for, in the Times Square area that we're proactively, looking for needles several times a week. Not every community board has it, this is one of the community boards that does, so we're fortunate to have that. Graffiti, as the chief had mentioned, that's certainly one of the issues that we see here and citywide. The chief and I think, I speak for both of us, when I say we hold that very near and dear to our hearts, because EDC, up until about 2 years ago, was responsible for the Graffiti Free New York program. DSNY absorbed it, when we absorbed the program, we absorbed it with about 10,000 backlog service requests. Not only did we knock out those requests within a few months, at this point, we're keeping up with all the new service requests that come in weekly.
What are you trying to say?
Trying to say we're doing a great job.
Are you still managing graffiti?
Yes, we're still part of it. Yep.
Are you still what?
Steve is doing the graffiti, so he's the one.
Okay, because we have a lot of, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
does the complete, does that besides buildings, does that include, mailboxes and lamp posts and everything? They're so bad.
So I was gonna go into,
Okay.
right, so what we do is we remove graffiti from residential, and commercial buildings. With waivers, so essentially the property owner has to give us permission to clean the building, and then we'll go in and we'll do it free of charge. Street furniture, that really falls upon the agency who owns it, so for a mailbox, that's really the USPS, utility poles, it could be DOT.
They have to
try and
clean their
hold
own,
them- we
they
try-
clean their own graffiti?
Yes, we try and hold them
No,
accountable.
We try to get
don't.
them.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
It's not the first.
You guys are very lucky in this area because you have Councilmember Brewer for a part of your district.
A little part, very good.
She is phenomenal when it comes to graffiti. She sends us. Forget about the summer, because the summer's gotta be 12,000 locations that she sends us. She has her college interns scout her whole community council district. And she sends us a ridiculous list, which is great. I love it. But she sends us stuff throughout the week. She hates graffiti. She's so on top of it. So she is a big component of us coming out. But same as I said with everything else, we will make sure you have Steve's email address. Steve definitely oversees the whole graffiti program. And we will be happy, it's a 100% free program, we will come out and clean whatever you see, as long as it meets the requirements of, just so you know, we can't go over 2 stories. And our truck has to be able to reach, there's some safety protocols that we have to follow. Other than that, we will try to clean, if it's on a building that has never been painted, we will put a chemical, we will power wash it, I will tell you that power wash doesn't always remove it 100%. But if it's on a building that has been painted, or we get permission to paint, some people come out and say, listen, I want it covered, painted, match it, we try to match the colors as best we can.
Really?
Yeah, we'll paint right over it.
Is there a surface paint that prevents the graffiti from sinking in?
I mean, they say, they tell us there's that graffiti proof on our baskets, but if you see our baskets, there's graffiti all over them, so I will never buy into that, I don't. They say there is, but if you look at the car wash any day of the week, I mean, we're there once a week. We repaint the car wash once a week, it's like almost like our Tuesday ritual, where we come out and paint it, you can see it, and they're back there in 2 hours. It's like we give them a fresh canvas.
Yeah, right. When you talk about Gail Brewer and she gives you all these, those are on public spots, or is that also buildings, like?
Gail was just anything in her.
So then if she gives you that, then you have to go to the owners of each one?
Correct, we need a waiver, we cannot touch graffiti without a waiver. The beauty of it is, let's just go back to the car wash for a second.
Yeah.
We have a waiver on file, we only have to have one waiver. Like, we can go paint it at any time now.
Because they allowed you, it's like kind of a.
Once we have that waiver, we're good to go.
As soon as you call for one and place complaints, it automatically goes into the cleaning shed. Now, if we don't have a waiver for that location, essentially what happens is we have to ask them property ownership, we have to send them a notice of intent to clean. The notice of intent to clean says basically, you can clean it, we can give us permission to clean it, or they can not respond at all, which is my next point. For this calendar year, we've had 145 graffiti complaints within the district. We were able to clean 55 of them, which is great, but the others were either not on location, which is fine because.
Which is not what, okay, I'm sorry. You just said only 55 out of 100 and.
Out of 145, the reason being, there was graffiti, we found that there was not a location we went to inspect, right, we go out to each location before we send a crew out to see where it is, what we need to clean it, right? Or we don't have permission to clean it.
Gotcha.
So if we can ask for your help, if there are any locations that you see graffiti that you wanna have it removed, I mean, you have a relationship with the business or the property owner, and you could get us a signed waiver. That helps us to expedite it, prioritize the request and just get it cleanly quickly.
Give us those waivers.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy of the waiver. If you want to, or-
I'll walk the walk myself. For sure, because then, yeah, we need like preemptive waivers.
Does Councilman Botcher need to take a lesson from Gail Brewer?
We work with Councilman Bosch on
Eric's pretty much
a
on
daily
top.
basis, I would say.
Yeah.
So Councilman Bosch, so
Yeah.
like I said,
He's on top of it.
He needs his own
well,
list.
you know what, he doesn't send us graffiti, is what, and I'm like. His main priority is missing baskets, he's
That's right.
sends us a lot of it, he is all over the baskets, he cares about the community board very, he's all over it.
Yeah.
Missing baskets, damaged baskets,
Yeah.
overflowing baskets.
Yeah.
There's not a day that his staff doesn't email us with something like, they know parade routes, this was moved for a parade, I know it's not that, but it was supposed to be on the southeast corners of the road. They're good, they're very good, I think you guys have 2 really good council members that really care about, I'm not that others don't, but they really care about the community board.
So it's another point that I was gonna. Janine, can we see my picture, please? Some of them are obsolete, but it's about trash cans.
Okay, Brad, by the way, Brad, I see your hand, but Janine, I think Sally sent pictures to you.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll do that right now.
Thanks.
I have a question when it's all over about recycling.
Just to, give this little background, so I was the former president of the Council of Chelsea Block Association. I had 79 blocks in Chelsea, and now I'm the president of my own block association. I would say all the years that I was president, which was 3, garbage was one of the main, garbage was one of the main problems. Did we see the trash pail? Jane, let's do the trash pail, I'll come back to this one. Okay,
Yeah.
those are the trash pails we have, this
There.
is the suite.
Mhm.
All up and down, all up and anywhere you go, and I know that Eric's been on top of it, I've been writing about this for 3 years. And they, sometimes we don't have any.
Yep.
Then when we don't have any, they move them. In a week, that's what they look like.
Yep.
So I don't understand how we get to the moon, so
So,
we can't build a trash bag, a trash can. that will.
That looks like it went to the moon. That one looks like it went to the moon, huh?
They all do.
So,
This is what we have.
I
This is recent. I mean, we just took this.
have no words. I will tell you this, I am not a fan of the last two garbage cans with me, right? Those were silver bullets and the benefits. We were just having this conversation outside.
But
I-
Sally, that's actually, all things considered, that's a.
But I.
So-
Yeah,
that overflowed.
I wasn't gonna bring a whole. Yeah, I mean, so this is what it's like, and as long as Jimmy kind of go to the others, and because they're trying to fix it, first of all, a lot of what you presented tonight. Will fix a lot of the problems that we have, I see that, but as the wheels spin. And turn to get us to where we need to be, we need to talk about in the meantime. So that's in the meantime, because
Can
that,
I comment on this?
excuse me,
Can I comment on this?
yes, if you want to, no, so that's not the garbage can, so that doesn't.
So I'll comment on this.
Yeah,
This one
that's
is,
what it is.
yep, this one's very, so I see something right away that. Anyone who's dealt with sanitation knows we do not pass the buck. You send me something, I'm gonna clean it no matter whose jurisdiction it is. Okay? Unfortunately, one thing we're not really supposed to touch is city bike racks.
So this is, so I wanted.
That's a city bike rack.
No, this is what I wanted to tell you what it is. So, okay, so often when the trucks leave, even in power blocks, there are some brick bags and stuff comes out, and the supers go out and they clean up what's ever left there. This is in front of the dormitory on, 20th Street. It's in front of the dormitory, 300 West 20th Street, and that's from the dormitory. The bags get ripped, it has nothing to do with the bike rack, nothing to do with it.
I would
The bags
ask
get
you to
ripped.
email me, I will give you my email.
Okay,
If
listen.
my guys are doing this, I need to know immediately. That's unacceptable.
They leave it. I mean,
Unacceptable.
Okay, so
Unacceptable.
that's a big problem.
Sally, those are the bags picked up by DSNY or private carters?
No, it's a DSNY.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Listen, it happens. It does.
And it doesn't
Yeah,
it
happen
happens.
and the
It
super,
happens.
but our super goes out and cleans it, well,
Yeah.
it happens to a lot of buildings. It's when, you have a
Absolutely.
public, and they don't, and then that'll stay there, for a week or two, I mean, that's from
Please.
Eric Marcus's newsletter, right?
Please send me that immediately because
I'm very happy.
it happens. And unfortunately, like any other agency, we have some guys who want to take shortcuts and it's unacceptable for us. And that would be met by suspension immediately, because that's, how do we ask the city, like we were just about summonses, right? How do we write summonses and ask you to keep the front of your house clean and then we make a mess of it?
Thank you so much.
Email me, truck number, whatever information we get, what time it happened,
Oh, boy, Sally.
I will make sure we take care of that. That's unacceptable.
Sally's gonna get people
That's
fired.
unacceptable. And just so you know, I just wanna explain just the bike rack, cause you see the bike rack there?
Yeah, that's.
Forget that you said it was our guys, I believe you 100%, cause I know our guys do that. If that was regular trash, that was just in the bike racks, which we see a lot, because those bike racks accumulate trash, we can't touch them.
Okay.
There's labor laws about damaging the bikes and everything else. We call City Bike, who has their own maintenance crew, who no matter what, we can tell them that the bikes are on fire, they'll say we'll be out in 2 weeks.
All right, yeah.
Our guys, unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Nights on fire.
By the way, for the record, the guys who clean our streets are very nice and they clean up just they clean up all the trash.
Yeah, but now some of them it happens, it happens, and I'm embarrassed of it, but we'll take care of it.
I
What
see you,
is
Brad.
supposed to be done, and there's what happens in practice. So is this that it's something that, due to the nature of the job, there is pressure to get the route done versus picking up every little bit of trash that falls out?
Every route is attainable to clean in the city. There's no one who shouldn't be cleaning the routes. Our guys are mandated, it cannot be the best of that. It's really just bad actors, right? It's every single agency, business, life, there's bad actors. That's all that is bad actors. And we have to nip that in the bud because that's unacceptable. Like I just said, we can't ask the city to clean up and then the public sanitation is, so that's horrible.
And I also corrected my assumption, which is what I started to say, when we have full containerization, that won't happen. Is that correct? Because there won't be bags on the strip to be, they'll be picking it up and.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, but I mean, there'll always be dump outs and misuse, so it will happen, it won't happen the way it's happening now from us picking up bags and ripping. You know,
When is that whole rollover, I'm supposed to, the field of the.
So the rollout started last year,
Yeah.
9 is now being broken into, 7 years, 2032 will be fully complete.
Well, I hope my grandchildren live.
So hold on, Brad, I know you waited patiently. Brad's another member of our committee. Go ahead, Brad.
Gentlemen, thank you for coming. Thank you, Chair. I just got a few questions. What type of garbage can do you want? And if you have something, could you share that with us? So maybe we could help advocate for that, or at least get a few of these for a pilot in our area. Two, the violations. I agree with small businesses getting written up because they didn't clean a vestibule. But the real problem is the empty ones that are owned by the landlord, or there's no tenant. So I think, Chair, we need to change the legislation that it's not once a week, it's every day. I mean, that's a real problem because that is where people hang out where there is no business. So I think we're kind of looking at it backwards there. And then as the third thing, gentlemen, you know, we're in the environmental committee, and I'm just curious on any new initiatives regarding that DSNY is doing regarding energy or recycling or any new programs that you guys are working on?
On the recycling question, I have a specific version of his question. When I go to the store and I buy containers of stuff, I always, and my wife has learned how to do it, look at the recycling symbol on the bottom. I know that 1 and 2 PET and high density polyethylene are readily recyclable. I know that polypropylene number 5 isn't quite that readily recyclable because there's not as good a market for it. Backing up Brad's question, what's happening to enforce or to cause stores not to put my food in material that's not recyclable and only to?
That's a Department of Health question. So we don't enforce what your food goes in or what the stores use. We enforce how they get rid of their refuse. The Department of Health would have to go in and do any enforcement of anything inside the store.
I'm not even talking about enforcement. He was asking about what kind of initiatives are around. I'm talking about some kind of legislation.
Marty, let me just give you an example. In China right now, they had a massive garbage problem. Massive. They built facilities now that turn their garbage into energy. They've been so successful, they're actually importing garbage. They don't have enough because they were dependent on that energy. And I'm just curious, what is the department working on, big picture, not 2 years down the road, but what is the bigger plan here besides us just shipping the garbage away? I just want to know if there's any new initiatives, is what I was getting at.
I mean, I can't speak too much on it, maybe Steve, you can, we have a whole recycling and sustainability unit. We're about to release our 10-year swamp plan, which is our solid waste management plan. That hopefully will be out by October of next year.
Swamp plan?
Yes.
Solid waste management.
Yep. Our recycling, our organics is all sustainable energy that is brought to different recycling plants, whether it's ours or waste management. From there, you would have to talk to, I don't want to give you false information because it's not something I can really speak to intelligently on. I'm more of the operations guy than I am the recycling. I can get you any information you want on that, but I can tell you that we meet all standards of government on recycling. I don't know if you have anything to add to it as far as recycling, organics.
No, what I'm simply asking, and I don't expect you guys to have that answer, is yes, we love to speak to your department that is looking long-term on helping some solutions. And that's all I was just trying to bring up. Not expecting you guys to have the answer, but we need to be thinking a little bit more down the future and what new technologies are they working on or prototyping or trying? That's what I'm getting
I would be happy to hook you guys up with somebody from our recycling and sustainability team that would probably be able to answer these questions more intelligently than me. Because like I said, unfortunately, I'm the operations guy. I can tell you how we pick it up, what we pick up, how many tons we pick up and where it goes, but then my job is over from there. So I could definitely see if I can hook you up with who's in charge of that for us.
I hear you loud and clear on it. You're an operations guy, and my question is really a source reduction guy. A question on getting materials around the stuff that we purchase that has a life cycle. So much stuff that we buy doesn't have the life cycle. I'm hoping the solid waste management plan has a source reduction section in it. If it doesn't, it
It
should.
100% does.
And Marty, I think a lot of that really is end producer responsibility. The Department of Sanitation can't tell
Yeah.
factories what packaging to use for their food.
Well, that's right, but the Department of Sanitation needs to be,
Like, this is a matter of that the state legislature keeps bringing up year over year and gets closer and closer to a solution on, but that's like where you would start tackling the,
From the source.
yeah,
From
the
the
producer
manufacturer.
responsibility.
I agree with both of you. I'm just saying that the Department of Sanitation itself also needs to be sensitive to these issues. And I hear the way you guys are speaking that you are,
Yeah,
and that you'll bring these comments to,
100%. I'd be happy to hook you up with who runs our recycling and sustainability, because they'd definitely be able to speak a lot more intelligently on this than me.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Madam Chair, I just had one more thing.
Wait, hold on.
And I wanna answer your first two
Yeah,
questions. as
yeah,
well.
he's gonna answer, because I'm curious the type of bins you want, you asked.
Yeah, so me personally, I'm an old school guy. I think the regular green wire basket is the greatest basket in New York City.
Why is that?
Yes.
The cost. Right, they last longer, we can replace them easier. People, for some strange reason, and not everywhere, I know this is gonna sound crazy because you have a lot of overflowing baskets in this. When it comes to the silver bullet, which was the one you saw with the door open,
Yeah.
or the new Bennett bin with the flip top, it doesn't matter how much garbage is on there, people are gonna pile garbage on top. Because there's places to put it. With the wire basket, when it's full, we see that people don't place trash
Oh,
always on top of a wire basket.
They go to another basket.
When they get damaged, they're easy to replace, they're cost efficient, listen, I just was talking to this young lady, told her that, Julie Menon asked us to replace every single basket on Second Avenue. And we put them, and they look great, we bought all brand new, beautiful green wire baskets, they're out, they're working well. To me, it is the greatest basket, but we'll just go back for 1 second, because we do have a lot of the silver bullets, like you showed us. That are on the street with broken doors. Right now, we are fighting with the manufacturer to send us 5,000 magnets with screws. Where we are gonna go around and we are gonna re-magnet every single door so those doors stay closed. Because they are out there and we don't have the funds to just replace every single one.
So,
Yes,
Go ahead, Kate.
a quickly note on that magnet thing.
yes.
In 2001, I presented to the ACES committee. And in that, I talked about how I purchased magnets and screws, and I replaced, and I told Steve, because I asked Steve if I would get a couple. And I did that, and I asked, why is there? Why is there, prior to any of this, there has never been any type of thing to get a couple dollar magnet to fix a bin that costs over $250.
You work in the high end government, you would laugh at me if I told you that we called 7 companies that told us they can't make this magnets, and said, we made it ourselves, we had our own BBM go out.
But the manufacturer
absolutely-
wouldn't sell you in quantity.
No, because we're not buying the whole bin, they're in business to sell us an $1,100 bin, not a $2 magnet. They won't sell it to us, we had our own guys go out, measure, create this and everything else,
That's great.
listen, you guys are very educated, you go to the city government, sometimes, just for lack of better words, like, everybody excuse my, it sucks, we deal with stuff
Well,
like this every day, they
I'm
won't
glad
sell us a
that's
magnet.
happening.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I've been enough.
Jeffrey, I know how to question.
So, not to backtrack, but in your discussions with River
Yeah.
and the legislation that
Yep.
you're trying to help craft, I would really strongly advocate that you be mindful of bars and restaurants, because we have lots of mixed use buildings in our district, and what ends up happening is those 2 routing hours that you have available to you, if a business doesn't open until 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Right, but it's also a residential building. You find yourself where you cannot write a summons if the garbage is left out. But those same businesses, when they close at night, their bins will go on the curb and they'll stay out all night. And they'll be there until 5 o'clock the next day.
Yep.
Right, so that's creating, in our neighborhood, huge rat problems for a lot of our communities. So as you're working towards that, like, try and just be mindful that there are lots of businesses to just leave it out from when they close until 5 o'clock the next day?
So we're talking about two different things. So the bill we're trying to pass is for cleaning summons. It's not so much bins on the street, because the bins on the street is a separate summons. That's like what we call a collection summons right now. And we could write them for like bins being out, a certain amount of hours past their pickup time. What we're trying to pass is more of a cleaning summons, which is a dirty sidewalk and a dirty street. That's what we're trying to be able to issue for the length of the business being open. The other summons that you're talking about, we actually can write them when they're not open. For their pails not being kept or their pails being in the street. And we try to be very open-minded with that, because it's still a new rule, right? It's a tough lift, similar with the bids, similar with the 1 to 9 units. We just ask these businesses to all go out and purchase bins. A lot of them are having a hard time placing them places, so we've been very lenient with the education part of it with these businesses. We are starting to get into the summons area where now if they leave them out, we're starting to enforce more than educate. But we're trying to be mindful that it's a new initiative and a lot of these businesses don't have a place to store them. So I just think it's two different things. What Gail's trying to pass is really for the cleaning summons. It's not so much
Like
the
loose
bins.
trash on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else from DSNY? Cause I know we have some people in the public and we have people online. and-
Well, I just had one question, Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brad. You did say that.
Yes, so I know in some areas of the country or in some parks, I don't know if it's for New York, where they reduce the amount of public garbage cans. So would we get better service if they were on every other block? Will we save in labor? Or has
So-
it been a study done that just doesn't work and it just goes on the street? I'm just curious.
Brad, I'm gonna give you my cell phone number because right now you can't see what's going on and everyone's shaking their head, no. But I, who before my time with the commissioner, was the executive officer and chief of cleaning operations, and we did Project Scorecard. We removed corner baskets in one district in New York City for a month. And Project Scorecard went up 7 points. It is a proven fact that corners without litter baskets stay cleaner than corners with litter baskets.
See?
Yeah,
And
that was my impression
way.
too. That was my understanding as well.
It was a. Where are they going?
Is it a heavily trafficked commercial district?
Extremely. But it was a mix. It's not all heavily
But
trafficked.
that's like Japan.
It wasn't like
The
influence.
society in Japan is very different from America.
I understand. I'm just saying.
People are doing the same thing.
All right.
Yeah. So again, like just getting back to like the basic thing. What we see and what we hope, right? We're not out there watching it all the time, but. The average person. Walking with a cup. And a pizza bag. Sees a garbage can's overflowing, they're gonna throw it on
Yes,
top.
but they're not gonna throw it on the ground. If
They're not
there's-
gonna throw it on the
if
ground,
there's
but
not-
there's no
if
garbage
there's
in
no
there,
garbage
and
can,
they're
they'll
gonna
just
walk
throw it. Correct.
Take a random box, or they'll put it on top of something.
But you're not in the mix, you're not in the mixed use, mixed dumping.
Yeah, so we have found that removing litter baskets does work. I won't say it will work citywide. It works in some districts, but with Project Scorecard, the scorecard went up.
Really
Yes.
interesting. I know we have members of the public that are here that probably wanna ask you questions.
Yeah.
And then we have a few people online. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Because that's what they're here for. Oh, go ahead. And I know you were,
Yes.
Yeah.
Dog poop enforcement?
which one? Go ahead, Mom.
I'll be quick. I live on 22nd between 7th and 8th. My neighbor's not here too, and, we have one of the bump out street. And the question really is, in terms of trying to clean it up, the machines can't get through, okay? Because you've got the bump outs with the big ledges and the big rocks. Adding that to when you do have the over 30 unit, over 30 floors, what's the one, the big buildings where they're gonna have the required on the street, bids. That's also going to impede the cleaners. So what's the plan and how do we deal with that? Because we're dealing now with this garbage in those areas.
DOT bump out with the planter, mostly DOT's responsibility.
I figured that, but yeah.
We clean them. We do go in and clean them when we get complaints. I'm not gonna say we clean them all the time because it's not us. M9, we're using 2 different pilots to clean, right? So in M9 right now, so right now you own a house, you're responsible for 18 inches into the curb.
Right.
When you have a container in front of your house, you're responsible for 18 inches around that container.
Gotcha.
That's how the law changes. But we know that we still have to clean the streets. So with every single container, just like a car that doesn't move ASP, we lose about 15 feet on each side. The broom sweep, 15 feet in the front, 15 feet in the back. We bought what's called a 3-on broom. So if you ever saw the mechanical broom has 2 brooms on the side, comes out, we sweep the curb, puts everything into the middle, vacuum broom sucks it all up. The 3-on broom has these 2 brooms here, and it has 1 broom in the front. We send that broom out with the guide man, where that broom can pull all the way up to the container, sweep everything with the front broom, guide man backs him up, he goes around and pulls in. We also, for the backside on one-way blocks, have what's called manual litter patrol MLP, where we send these guys out and they sweep around each container.
That's great. No,
So we know it's a problem, we're gonna lose some sweeping space. And we're trying different methods to make sure it stays. So far right now, in M9, we've had 0 complaints and our summons is actually went down with our rat population, so we're in good shape right now.
All right, go ahead, Pamela.
Yeah, wow. So, first, I want to say that in all of my years of living in Chelsea, which is a lot, since 1956, the sanitation guys have been my heroes. And continue to be my heroes. I lean out like a fishwife from my 2nd floor window and thank them from the street when they pick them up.
Thank you so much.
They are just amazing. They are absolutely amazing. Picking up about what Molly said, I am very involved with the Chelsea West 200 Block Association. Our shared street is 22nd Street is a part of that block association. We've been monitoring how we've had different positions about whether to try to ask to have it all cleaned out and removed and gotten rid of because of this issue. Very specifically, this issue plus homeless people camping out on the granite blocks has been an issue as well. We've been monitoring it and find that in the last several months, there's been much better conditions on that block. The hanging out part is happening kind of on the corners, particularly towards 7th Avenue, but it's not bad. I am thrilled to hear that there is a truck that can actually, can we ask for this? Can we request that this truck with the front sweeper on it can come to
So
our?
right now, we're using them sporadically, where we have these containers. We also use them for like areas where we have center medians, because they can actually knock all the weeds down. I can look in your area, we could do an analysis, I don't know if it would necessarily call for it right now, but we could definitely take a look at 22nd Street to see if we can help
The
clean it
shared
around.
street is just 1 block from
Yep.
7th to 8th Avenues, and these people live there, and there's people right here to
So when
represent
you,
that block.
I just wanna understand, it's 22nd from 7 to 8,
Correct.
and it's when you say shared street,
It's called a shared street.
okay, and
It's
DOT,
official, that's an official thing.
yeah. So DOT has it closed off with a planter and a,
There are several bump outs, as they
Yep.
described.
On our block.
Yeah.
We don't live on. just-
On that block.
Yeah, we live there, she doesn't.
We live-
That's
we live-
correct.
we live on
I
there,
live
and
a block away from it.
It's garbage there, people get, the kids from the school and on the way home, stop smoking, dope and all this stuff there. Get rid of those blocks, we have a lot of, otherwise, maybe we should just go back and have guys with a broom go around.
we have guys out there with brooms, we've never got.
And then now you have your sweeper go through just.
Yeah, so again. I hate to ever sound like I'm passing the buck, but there are some restrictions if it's a DOT property that my guys just can't go in there. With that being said, all I can say right now is Steve wrote this down and mark my words, I'll have someone out there tomorrow taking pictures and I will help you any way I can. Not only when I say help you, not only with my sanitation guys, but I'll contact DOT and send them the pictures of what we're seeing and say, we gotta do something here, you guys gotta get out and clean. We'll fix that either way.
That is abandoned building, it's not.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get someone out tomorrow to see what we can do.
But if you have to live on that street, people usually, I just walking in here tonight. I just took a picture of all the garbage that's all strewn, it has nothing to do, we guys, you guys, and yeah.
Exactly, so that's how to do it, it's
Well,
us,
okay,
and we'll take care
you
of it.
can't move.
Yep. Well, we can't move anything, we'll see,
The street.
we'll see if we can either clean it or contact DOT. people.
Put your container there.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, put your container there, get rid of that other crap. I'm so sorry.
yeah, what do you got?
Okay, what I got is this. There's a real reason, the central reason I came here is just what you were just talking about, the wire baskets.
Yeah.
Were wonderful.
Yeah.
They always worked, when the new ones came in, starting with Corey Johnson's,
Yeah.
with a monster.
Yeah.
God, they were awful.
and they're dangerous, when the doors are open,
Yeah.
they're dangerous.
Yeah.
Could we maybe have Chelsea be the next, neighborhood that gets the wire baskets back for each corner? We
So-
have one now on Seventh Avenue and on 21st Street and Seventh Avenue, the northeast corner has a wire basket, the rest of them are these miserable ones. And it's a big success.
Sure, and the only thing I can tell you is that unfortunately, Corecraft, the company who makes our wire baskets, had a production problem since COVID. Since 2020, we've only been able to get 3,000 baskets. We used to order 10,000 a year.
Are they the only company that produces this product?
At
And
the
if there's
price-
a demand, they
At
should-
the price that we pay, yes, they are. So they're up and running now.
okay,
We've been able to do a little bit better. We have 1,008, which is a weird number, but that's the number they made us order this year. 1,008 is what they gave us this year, well, this fiscal quarter, let me say, those are starting coming the end of November. We will be putting them out. I will take a look at Chelsea. What I can start doing before I start replacing is there are missing baskets citywide. I think right now citywide, there's 4,200 missing baskets. So I can replace whatever's missing with some wire baskets before we actually start replacing other baskets, but I will definitely look into the Chelsea area and we can replace the missing with the wire.
Can I
We
just
have-
follow up
we
on that?
have- We
One minute.
definitely have missing corners.
I just wanna follow up on that, cause if, say we write a letter, you know,
Sure.
thanking you for coming and all that stuff. And mention the values of these wire baskets.
Yeah.
But before I do that, or we do that, I just wanna do due diligence. What is the benefit of these other, why are these other baskets? Cause I know a lot, I think our council member asked for these bigger bins, right? And so what are the
Aesthetics.
big,
Well,
Well, also rat
Rat-
mitigation.
rat mitigation was the better bin.
Rat.
Better bin was supposed to be rat proof.
gotcha,
The silver bullet, well, I don't think anything is rat proof ever.
No.
I don't, I mean. I, working for this department, you see what they can do. It's the most amazing yet disgusting thing in the world. I don't think anything is rat proof. I really
Part of
don't.
the-
But they're definitely better for that. Me personally, I just don't like the graffiti and the stickers. Because I think these things look beautiful when they're out there, but we have them in Chinatown for about 2 years. I don't know, I think the city's beautiful to have these out there just.
talking about the wire baskets.
No, the wire baskets stay great forever. I'm talking about the better bits that are not proof. They
Gotcha.
have stickers and graffiti all over them, so.
Yep.
I mean, again, I'm probably not supposed to say this stuff, but the wires to me, it's New York City. It's like the.
Yeah.
it's all
There's
New York
another-
City. It's wire baskets.
Simple and effective,
Yeah.
inexpensive and effective.
Yeah.
Another advantage to wire baskets, we're on corners where there's large apartment buildings and they have hoses out and the guy has. They can hose those baskets down
Yeah,
and clean them.
100%.
You can't do that with these other things
No.
at all, and that does happen.
Yeah.
Thank you, did you?
Yes, yeah, but super quick question. First of all, I absolutely applaud the containerization pilot rollout.
Yeah.
The property managers and folks I've spoken with have absolutely loved it. They have 0 complaints. I've seen it in action in Europe. You know, it's effective. It is a source of, I think, pride for all of us to see it coming to New York City. So my question has to do with, when do you forecast that rollout of containerization? When will the Empire bins get to the schools?
So we started, M9 is fully every school. And I don't have the numbers of who opted in on the 10 to 30, but the 30 and above, so Manhattan Community Board 9. 30 and above is 100% containerized, and every school in Manhattan 9, but I believe one school in Manhattan 7, that kind of fell on the border of 7 to 9. Brooklyn 2, we started the rollout with 12 schools. We're gonna do all the schools in Brooklyn 2 over the next few months. And we're gonna, so instead of just going school citywide, we're gonna do community board by community board by community board. Those of you who know, I can tell you from our conversation earlier, you know a lot about this, schools are our worst offenders. Schools are our worst offenders. With leaving it out at the wrong time, not recycling, not putting organics in there, right? Schools, if you think about what's in a school, they almost should have no refuse. They should be either recycling or organics, right there, lunch and the paper and everything. They should have such little refuse. We're working on it. It's been a great success in M9. We have got nothing but positive feedback in the 12 schools we rolled out in Brooklyn 2. It's not gonna be, I wish we would do all schools citywide, but it's gonna be community board based. So Manhattan 9 is done, Brooklyn 2, we're in the process of doing it. I think we're going to the Bronx next, but schools will be done with when the community board gets done. That's how it's being done.
Great, so just, we want to wrap up and there are people online, so go ahead.
Okay,
Quick.
yeah, so quickly, yeah, this reminded me of something I proposed years ago and don't have a good answer for. What about
Hey, you know what?
contacting on?
Can we pause that 1 second, just to go back to one thing, the school citywide, you know, the law was passed last year. Whoever's not Empire Bid is required to have what we call a tilt trucks, a 1 cubic yard tilt truck with a container on it, so they are kind of containerized. Our guys come, you know what a 1 cubic yard tilt truck looks like?
Yeah, and actually our school, like PS11, one of our schools did not have the containerization, so I've been helping to.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
And
it's
to make
there.
that transition, so they now have, I think it was like the next day. you
They
got
had the
sent
tow
over
trucks?
Still trying to do that.
I'm sorry,
So thank you. Compacting.
Yes.
For schools and large institutions for the recyclables.
yeah,
Why can't we do that?
so Catherine Garcia, who was our commissioner a few years
That's what we
ago,
talked to about.
Yeah,
I
she-
voted for her from that.
Catherine tried to pass a law where all new construction
Yes,
had to have that space, and it just didn't go anywhere because, you know, money is money, right? And if you put a compactor and you put space for it, you're losing 5 apartments or whatever, so it just went nowhere. I would love to see it, I would love to see every new construction.
Who should we talk to?
I
our council member.
it's around the Donnie, I don't know.
Yeah, I did
But-
talk to Catherine about that.
Yeah, she was a big component of it, and I thought it was a great idea, right? All these new buildings, you're building these new buildings for 300 units and you have no refuse plan.
Okay.
Janine, is there anyone in the public that would like to, ask a question or a comment for DSNY?
Yeah, so I have Christine Rattay and Pat Gunn that I'm gonna bring over.
Great, and it also
Oh.
says Lisa, a woman named
Yeah.
Lisa has her hand up. If you could bring them all over at one time, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Hi, Christine.
Hello, this is so interesting, fascinating. So I have 2 questions for you. One is the law about the containerization says that the cover of the containers has to be closed. And what we see more and more, you know, at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, is containers with huge piles of bags on the top. And I have 2 questions for you. Is there a way to enforce that? And what would be the you know, is the problem of the hours that you mentioned an issue with that? That's my first question. I'll give you the second one later.
Okay, so as far as we do analysis, right, our field officers go out, we also have a summons team, an enforcement team that goes out and enforces commercial establishments that are supposed to be containerized. They will analyze these locations and they will look, right, so commercial establishments put their garbage out every single night, they're supposed to have a commercial cart. If we're driving around and we see for Sal's Pizza has a bin and the bin is not fully closed, we will educate the first night, because that could be a one-time thing. We'll go in, we'll educate. We'll come back the next night. The next night, if Sal's Pizza has that lid open still, with a bag stuffed in, we will issue them a summons. If he doesn't, then we know that it was a one-time thing. So we do an analysis and we educate the businesses before we just issue a summons. And then we will enforce if it keeps going on.
So what is the appropriate 311 complaint for that?
Wow.
There's like a misuse of for a commercial bin or.
I don't think it would be misuse of commercial bin. I would probably put it on the improper setup.
What?
Commercial, improper setup for a commercial establishment.
And you can
Okay.
also call out customer service.
So
units
that's that. And then if it's done by a residential unit, you don't do anything about it, do you?
No, we follow the same thing.
Okay,
We'll look,
but
right?
so you are actually going at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, right?
We have a whole team that starts at 5 o'clock and they come out and they do enforcement in every single district citywide.
Okay, all right. So my second question is.
Hold on, Christine, hold on. Christine, just hold on. Christine, hold on 1 second. Are there more people enforcing in different districts, or is it even? Like, how many enforcers do we have?
The number varies, right? Because it's not really a set unit. It is what we call our regular field supervisors that we put over and above. We book extra supervisors. And we go on analysis of where we're seeing the most things. They're citywide, they're not citywide every single night. So we move them around. It's a team of, it could be as low as 10 per night. It could go up to 40.
For the whole city?
for the whole city.
So wouldn't we need more of those people or no?
Honestly, I really don't think so, because this is only one phase of, like, there's enforcement around the clock. This is one phase of it that just specializes, but all regular supervisors that watch the collection trucks, that watch the room and everything else, are also doing enforcement as well.
Gotcha, okay, sorry.
Okay,
Christine, go
so
ahead.
the second question is related to, sandwich boards, property, all that kind of thing, which is on the sidewalk. And, Ninth Avenue, is full of small businesses, and they all have a sandwich board, and they have maybe sometimes 3 sandwich board. Or they have property, kind of a presentation of their merchandise on the sidewalk. I have recently reported on 5 or 6 of them, and every time the answer that come back from 311 says, we didn't see the problem. There was no problem. So I'm just trying to figure whether I'm doing the wrong thing, or I'm reporting at the wrong time, or what is it going to take for the sanitation to be able to enforce those issues?
So what I would ask you to do is, we'll make sure you get Steven's email address. If you can email him those 311 complaint numbers, I will look into each one individually to see why you got that response. I don't know. I don't know why you got that response. I wanna look into it more. We are out there, our enforcement team goes out. Remember, you're allowed to have sandwich boards within 3 feet of your business. If they're out more than that, then we can enforce, but some of them have special permits where they could be out more than 3 feet, so we can go in and we can ask them for permits and everything else. We can only enforce what they don't have.
All right, so Janine or Leslie, will you give me the contact of Steve's
Yes, I'm not
contact?
I'll look into each one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for your presentation. It's just amazing.
Thank you, Christine. Pat, I see you, and then Lisa. Pat, do you hear me?
Christine, actually, I wanted to thank you for raising one of the issues that I wanted to raise, particularly the issue with the trash cans that are so overfull that they can't close. My name's Pat Gunn. I've lived on the 200 block of West 18th for the last 8 years or so. I want to make some quick comments, but I promise to respect your time and keep it very quick. Firstly, and probably the least relevant, but it was just raised, regarding losing parking spots for a substantial part of the community. Everything that makes it harder for suburban style car ownership in the residential parts of the city is a cause for celebration. Only about 20% of households in Chelsea own a car. It should be fewer. Moving on to the things that are probably a little bit more relevant. We've had a huge rat problem on my block for a long time. We've been trying to raise a lot of fuss to raise it. It's partly restaurant waste, partly residential probably, and partly it's homeless people digging through the trash for things they can recycle for money. But there's also probably a need to look into blocking the common rat paths. It's been this way since before I moved in, but fairly often late at night, if you see a black trash bag, it's squirming and it's full of rats, and occasionally they pop out and they're pretty scary. It would be great to see some more proactive spot enforcement, but I really appreciate the efforts to improve enforceability with hours adjustment. Please keep letting us know and the community boards and block associations what we should be asking our city council members for to fix the bad laws that tie your hands. And also, and maybe something people deeply disagree with me, this is my last point. It would be great to have a much more aggressive approach to homelessness if it's legal to do so. Something like a same-day removal, proactive, no warnings. Maybe drive them outside the city, hoping they won't be able to afford to get back in. Mitigating by cleaning afterwards really isn't good enough, and it doesn't solve the other problems by their presence, but they do end up moving a lot of trash onto the streets that probably is yet another part of the trash problem, of the rat problems that we all deal with. And that really the rats, they're the most stunning thing in the city. Anything that we can do to reduce them would be lovely, but there are some other problems too. Anyhow, those are my comments.
Excellent, thank you so much, Pat. I mean, I'll comment on the rats. We are taking every step, right, with containerization between the bids, between our reducing our adopt a basket program, so those are left on the corners and then containerizing the whole city, but as far as closing the pathways. Department of Health, they're out there and they have a lot of different ways, I know they work a lot in Community Board 8. They've done some great work up there on Second Avenue and 76th Street. Where they put in all this mesh stuff and using carbon monoxide and all this other stuff to really. Close all those holes, but that's really the Department of Health, all we can do is really just ask everybody to follow these containerization laws that I think eventually will really reduce the problem.
Thank you, Pat. Lisa?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for your presentation. It's been very informative. And my issue is related to what Christine brought up regarding the sandwich boards. There's one particular business that posts sandwich boards in 7 different locations between 25th Street and 7th Avenue and 13th Street and 8th Avenue. Since the summer, I've put in over 25 service request notices. And sometimes the signs are gone, sometimes they aren't. They're chaining them to public property. So I know that that's illegal. And a lot of the service requests that I get back are closed saying, we see the violation. When we're able to locate the owner, we will issue a fine. And, you know, I'm a little perplexed about that response as well.
That's happened to me too, by the way.
What was the location again? 26th Street?
So there's 7 different locations. I could send the spreadsheet of all my service requests with the addresses so you could see it, but they have the signs are along 7th Avenue, you know, and 25th Street. So it'd be like on 22nd and 7th, 25th and 7th, 24th and 7th, and along 8th Avenue. 8th Avenue and 14th, 8th Avenue and 13th, Horatio.
Are they sandwich boards for businesses, for like commercial
Yes,
businesses?
it is a sandwich board for one particular business that is chained to poles, especially at 14th Street.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look into that right away.
And they take it out at night. Like, so now they're moving the signs around. So I guess, you know, because of the service request, maybe they have been spoken to already. And they leave a very heavy chain around the utility pole. And you'll see that on 14th Street. And they take it away for the weekend. They put it at random times, I guess, so that they cannot get caught.
At least, just out of curiosity, is there a phone number or an address on the signs?
There's definitely an address. Yes.
Okay. We'll make sure we get out there and look at that right away.
Is there an email that I could send this spreadsheet to or anything like that with all the SR requests?
Yeah, we'll make sure we leave an email address for you, definitely.
Someone will send me the email?
Yes.
Okay.
Janine, Janine, who's in our CB4 office, who you might see online there. She has your email
Okay,
when you sign
perfect.
up, and we can definitely connect.
Thank you. I really appreciate your help with this. Have a great night.
Lisa, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. Good girl.
Actually, I have a question.
Parks has a question for you.
I'm just curious with containerization, citywide, has there been any notice drop in, you know, rat?
18%, I think was the last, I can even check my email, see if it came up again, I think we were down in M9, 18%.
Well, I'm just curious, well, yes, I live in Brooklyn, I'm just curious, I'm happy to hear that, but that's, I don't know.
My block is better. Much better.
I think, let's see if I have this morning's numbers, or I think we down, last I checked, it was 18%. So as of from 1/1/25 to 11/10, what was that, 2 days ago? 20%. Just in M9.
Is it year over year?
So this is just for the calendar year over year. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is citywide. Citywide, we're down 20%. M9, we're down 10%. Since the containers are out, 242 down to 219. Citywide, from 2024 to 2025, we're down 23,120 to 18,494, which is a 20% change. That's a pretty significant. And just for the month, just for the month. Wow, well, it's only 10 days, we're down 237%. Great. I'm sorry, 42%, 237 total.
They're
555 to 318. Yeah, well, it's working.
Wait,
So you're all learning to the boss now.
to the next
You know,
one.
Congratulations. Yeah.
So before you guys escape, can I get business cards?
Yeah, Steve, yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'll give everybody my email address.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, it's S.
What's,
Caruso.
wait a minute, wait a minute.
S,
When you're ready. S Caruso, so it's CAR,
I'm very hard of hearing.
CARUSO.
Yeah, Caruso.
Yep, at. DSNY, just put the S first. It's S Caruso. There's an S before the C.
See, I told you. I was right.
Yeah, just wanna make sure you have it right. At DSNY.NYC. .gov. And that's my email address. You can send service requests, questions, complaints directly to me. Also, I want to give everyone the number to our customer service unit. This way you can always contact them with some routine requests that, you see as you're out and about. That you may not, it's nice to have the 311 requests on file because we're a data-driven city, so it's nice to have that, but if there's anything that maybe, for example, what type of complaint do you place when you're calling about insufficient receptacles and overflowing cans? You can call us and speak to the sanitation employee. So we'll be able to guide you through that whole process, and we work directly with the districts and local level leadership to prioritize.
A human being really exists.
I'm sorry?
A human being, yes.
Yes. That's my unit, so, you could actually.
It could be him, he'll answer.
Send your friend Steve's and they'll make sure you get the VIP treatment. Okay, it's 212. 291. 1220. And again, it's the DSNY customer service unit. It's our version of 311.
How many people are staff there?
Say it again. 212.
291.
Got it.
1220. Currently we have 6.
Oh, that's a slight increase, or?
Yes, we recently merged with public affairs and yeah.
We're gonna wind up writing a letter with some of the comments that you two have made. I don't want you to walk out the door without somebody saying, I'm sure you'll do this too. Thank you. This is a long overdue for us presentation about stuff that sanitation is doing and has been doing for us and will continue to do. And we really appreciate you being here, even though you got up early this morning.
No, that's okay, and I apologize, I couldn't answer some of your questions. Let us get through the winter months because it does go crazy with the snow, with the change of administration. There's just a lot going on in the agency. But definitely reach out to us right after nightfall. And I will definitely get you somebody here from the Bureau of Recycling and Sustainability because I really want them to answer those questions the right way for you. I apologize for not being more prepared for that, but I definitely want to get you those right answers rather than give you wrong information.
You can only fit so much in here.
Yeah, no, but I want to, seriously, it means a lot to me to make sure you get those right answers.
Thank you, Chief.
Deserve that, so.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we get that done for you.
Thank you so much. I mean, this has
Yeah,
been
no,
probably
this is our pleasure.
one of the best informational sessions that. This is great.
And you even had Parks listening and attentively.
They're a great agency, they're a great partner.
He happens to be a great Parks person.
Yeah, this is great to
I'll
us.
tell you, I really honestly, like 20 years in the department. I think the city's had a really good placement into agency work. I think like the Q teams and the task force that we all do, we go to monthly meetings. I think,
We'll hope it continues, right?
yeah,
Hope
I
it
think the
continues, yeah.
agencies are really in a good place. And I mean, I call your first step, and then I call them constantly for favors, like we have a great Bell team that helps us with some of our smoke places that we can't get to, and we help them removing some stuff. So really good interagency stuff going on throughout the city with all the agencies.
Great.
We're in a good place.
Guys, really, this was
Let's get the new
fantastic.
mayor to continue.
Thank
Listen,
you.
the new mayor keeps saying quality of life, quality of life, so hopefully he comes in and gives us more manpower and he concentrates on cleaning, right? That's all we can hope for.
That's right.
Yeah, all I keep hearing is quality of life, quality of life. So I hope he comes in and he concentrates on quality of life and he gives us a cleaner city.
Well, that's what this
With that-
discussion's about.
That's all we can ask for.
And I hope.
Thank you for your work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I live, well, be the car for the next 2 hours. but that's-
Oh, jeez. All right. Thank you.
No,
Thank you
my
very
pleasure.
much. Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for having me.
You can start with Parks.
You have to go too.
No, not for them. You can start with Parks.
Data slot.
Say it.
Your patience, Paul, is
That was that one thing, that was actually very, very good, because they were talking about rats. And one of the first things I was actually gonna talk about was, I was following up on the question I was asked about Hell's Kitchen playground, trash collection and rat mitigation. And while it's clear we've got a lot of we made inroads into the rat problem. With the exterminators. The question about how we collect the trash and the lag time between the collection and the park cleaning. Need to be investigated. So I've got some very interesting information. One of the things that I want everybody to know is that everybody in the city is data driven, data. And Parks was unfortunately for the longest time the laggard in that. Over the last, I know, 20 years since I've been working with Parks, finding a way of getting our data collected and reported was focus. And actually, very, very pleased that I was able to get the information. So every time the staff goes and they clean a park, they make, they enter some data. And how long they were there, date, time, how many people were there, and also how many bags of garbage they collect. So all of our crews are supposed to do that. Some of my data on the Packer was actually missing as a separate report, but I was actually able to find it in the playground report for Hell's Kitchen. And so what I found was basically two things. We had two main Packer drivers or garbage truck drivers in District 4. We had Mr. Grant and we had Mr. Miles. And I found that their collection was really very, very consistent. So generally, the mobile crew that cleans Hell's Kitchen Park tends to arrive just before 11 o'clock, maybe like 10:50, and they're there about maybe as little as 5 minutes perhaps, but about maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And there's a little bit of an overlap where just after 11 o'clock, Mr. Grant arrives to collect the garbage. So in that time, what I'm imagining happens is they take whatever's been in the bins from the previous day or whatever, they take it out of the bins for collection, and it's not really there very, very long. There's no issue with the Packer, with the garbage truck. I know that it's not gonna stay there overnight. They're gonna get it during the course of the day. Mr. Miles tends to collect the garbage after lunch, and that actually makes sense because he's actually mainly deployed out of DeWitt Clinton. He actually tends to stay there for a good part of the day, but he also drives the Packer when we need him and fill in and support. So on those days when he probably fills in or switches off or whatever, he probably gets to Hell's Kitchen in the early afternoon. So most of his pickup will be in the early afternoon. Now, on those days when that kind of shift happens, there probably has been some other kind of change in the time of the crew going to Hell's Kitchen. But for the most part, the cleaning happens just before 11 o'clock, and the pickup will happen just after 11 o'clock. Otherwise, it's after lunch at about 1:30. So that gives you a sense of how long the garbage is contained on site and when it's packaged and when it's removed, taken off. Now, that doesn't account for, things like graffiti removal. It doesn't account for times when the Packer is out of service. When that happens, we actually collect the garbage, we pick up trucks. And so I don't have, that's irregular. So I don't know what that pattern might be. I could probably do a deeper dive. I have to do calendars and all that kind of stuff, but that's kind of irregular. But when things are running smoothly, having to plan, that's basically how it works. And I was actually very, very pleased to see that this data actually was pretty consistent, that the staff is going out on their regular route and they're collecting and they're also logging information. They're also making comments about some of the things that we also pick up, such as illegal dumping, and I have some notes on that, which is suitcase, vacuum cleaner, cardboard boxes, things of that nature. So they'll also log that information as well as how much garbage they actually collect. So that's the answer to the Hell's Kitchen garbage collection
questions?
One quick thing, just while we're on Hell's Kitchen Park, as we get to Christmas tree season,
Yes.
will the maintenance workers be keeping their eyes out for illegal dumping outside the park?
So I'm very glad you brought that up. So I know who those people are. And I busted them. I actually confronted them directly. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that, this year.
I wish I was there for that one.
I told, well, I'll tell you offline. No, I told them.
Okay.
We figured out that it was them, so I don't think it's gonna be a problem this year.
Okay, great.
I have a quick question. The data here, does this also show like 311 complaints? Does that
No.
account for addressing any of that?
No, this is just our information from when they go out into the field and, you know, number of people, the time they arrive and any, you know, odd items they may have, any other notes they want to put in, and the amount of bags of garbage they flush. That's that. All right, so that's that. Okay, the next thing I was supposed to comment on was the Matthews Palmer scaffold.
Uh-huh.
As we know, there was a delay. So the last update I have from Max as of this afternoon is that the contractor slash owner slash manager, the entity that's responsible, are working through the final DOB requirements and hope to start work soon. So they've made quite a bit of progress. Parks is assisting them as possible or as impossible and necessary. Just so you know, the tenant protection plan, any architectural and engineering plans, and the insurance are all in place and approved. So I want you to know that. And as per the owner, contractor, entity, after they're started, the job should take 3 to 4 weeks. Weather is not an issue if you're concerned about that. They'll be using a compound that contains an element of antifreeze that will allow them to work in cold weather.
That was one of the questions some of the people on the block had, if
Yes.
the scaffolding was gonna go through the winter and then they were gonna pick up work again, but no, it's gonna be done before that.
Yes, when they,
Okay.
well, as I said, when they start, it should take 3 to 4 weeks and they can work.
Okay,
Hopefully it won't be freezing because they gotta work, but the weather is not, the season is not an issue. And we will notify you when the work begins.
Yeah, but since I'm.
That I don't know, because they have those final details to work out, or, you know, whatever the final steps they're working with DOT. But hopefully we'll be very, very soon. So that's the Matthews Palmer update. Let's see, I have my usual safety data as always, and then I'll take a question. So if you want me to give the data, I'll give you my data. Thank you, this. Up, just a second. Now I'm getting lost in my sea of paper. Oh, that's your letter. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so, for syringes, so, we had something of an uptick in mid-October. Fortunately for us, an uptick is, you know, like from like 1 to 3. So, week ending last week, Chelsea Park, 1 syringe. Week before that, November 1st, Chelsea Park, 1 syringe. The real high point was the week ending October 25th. Chelsea Park 1, Matthews Palmer 1, McCaffrey Playground 1. So there was, I don't know what was going on at that time, but it's interesting, those 3 locations that we found something. And then the previous week, beginning October 18th, 2 found in Chelsea Park. And then the weekend in October 11th, Chelsea Park 3, Matthews Palmer 1. So it was an uptick. I was actually very surprised to see those numbers, because that's like the highest they probably have been all year. You can get it mostly like 1 or 2 maximum, and that would be it. So it's very interesting. Maybe it's a change of the season, but those are higher numbers. What I will say is, you know, it's kind of a mixed lesson. I'm glad my staff is being, you know, they're being attentive. They're finding these things and then reporting. So that's, I'm very, very pleased to see that. Okay, summons report. Let's see, what do we have? So, So for week ending November 8th, just one parking ticket at Chelsea Park. The week ending October 25th. One ticket, this was an oath ticket, this is a civil violation. One in DeWitt Clinton, and I think I had the breakout on what that was for. The prior week, October 18th, one civil violation in Chelsea Park. And the previous week ending October 11th, Hudson Yards, but that's Bella Abzug, had 4 parking tickets. So what's a civil violation? The civil violation, unlawful vending, failure to comply with signs, things of that issue, things like,
Walking your dog off the leash.
yes, or on a ball field, yes.
As I say, don't bring that up.
Yeah.
I didn't say.
Yes, things of that nature. So the numbers are relatively low. Battery Park had, so for example, weekend the 8th, they had 14 civil violations. City Hall Park had 13. So our numbers are relatively low. We have a bit of parking violations that's largely what we face.
Great. Sorry.
And that's.
I just have a few questions on, a few follow-ups on it. PEP staff, any word on PEP, the PEP hires?
No, you know what, and that's something I think I was supposed to check, and I didn't deliberately ask the question. I need to go back and get another answer. I do know that during the course of the summer, when that question came up, when I actually asked it on my own, I know that they were in the academy. I have to find out, and get the number, because I think they're done with the academy, and I think they have been assigned throughout the city. I have to find out how many the borough got.
In our district, yeah.
Yes, well, I
Okay.
don't know about our district, but for the borough, at least for the, Manhattan, South Manhattan, I'll find out how many.
Okay, that would be wonderful. Also, I know we talked about Hell's Kitchen Park and we were talking about rat mitigation and we're gonna do a blitz on that, the whole thing. Can you just give us an update on, so we can then report back to the block associations?
Yes, what had happened was the extermination crew actually was able to come with the 3 weeks, the 3 weeks running that were requested by the community. And I think the last meeting, was their, I think that probably their second visit, they had been there and they were finding dead rats. I mean,
It was working.
I mean, it's been very effective. It's been very, very effective. As a matter of fact, I have a few staff members who might get a secondary assignment by using it's a carbon dioxide machine to blow the gas into the burrows. Because it's been so effective, it appears to me that if you have the person on staff and they're able to be there constantly, really blitz them, you really get a very, very good kill. So it's been a very, very good example of how this can work. And it's been very effective at that location, so it's.
I'll check with them again, but I remember that, we were talking about, can we blitz? And then I think then you're gonna go back once a month or something after those first 3 months, or.
That's correct. I think that's the plan.
Okay.
The real problem overall, it's really personnel. Have enough people to go back and do that, but if we have enough machines in the borough, it'd be good to have our own person who can actually focus for a little bit of time. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I have a person who's not afraid of rats with you, so that's good.
Okay, I'll double check. My last question is, and I know someone brought this up, the public actually brought up during the budget task force. And this is, we haven't written a letter, I don't believe I can go back, but bathrooms at Clement Park, Clement Moore.
Right. But there are none.
There are none.
Yeah.
What, there were requests for, is there room? Can we look into that? Has there been talk about that in the past? I'm just trying to kind of navigate my way on how to.
So I am not aware of any conversation about having the bathroom there. I do know that, so yes, now just as a matter of fact, a matter of interest, I know for Penn South, there was discussion of putting in.
Yes.
A
That
bathroom.
one, yes.
Yes, but it's gonna be something, it's not gonna be, the full plumbing type thing, it's gonna be something.
Correct.
I don't know what to call it, but more environmentally responsible, maybe waterless, or it's gonna work, so something of that nature. So that might be something that that might be considered for that location.
Wait, is that going in at Penn South playground?
I thought that was gonna be that was an option to be considered for the future at that
Oh,
location.
well,
Yes, it made it.
everything's an option to be considered.
Well, if you like, well, if
You know, the
it's.
design though, right, like to carve out some.
Remember,
space.
there was a space
Yes,
that
yeah,
we
right,
wanted.
correct, that's the plan, but I don't think that is happening. As a part of the upcoming construction, but I do think that is part of the plan. I will find out about that too. So,
Okay, because maybe that could be a yeah, like I know Brad always says a pilot. Brad, I don't know if you could hear, oh, no, Brad's gone.
When does that construction start at Penn South?
it's starting in 2026, and it's starting. Yeah, it's starting 2026, I think it's starting, don't quote me on the dates, but I have a sense that it's gonna happen, probably in the middle part of 2026.
Late spring, early summer. I'm not holding you on the dates.
I think that's a fair.
I would like to explore about the bathroom there again, and also the one at
That's how,
Clint,
I
yeah,
will, I will,
no, at
I will get clarification on both questions.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no, but anyone on the committee first? Reports, nothing? Okay, thank you, Miriam, Janine,
Yeah, I'll bring Miriam over.
thank you.
Sure.
And it looks like someone else, you can bring both people over,
Yeah, David too.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, can you hear me, see me?
Hi, Miriam, we could hear you.
Hi, I heard the word bathrooms, and that was something that I've been concerned about. This is a quality of life request, possibly on the current cycle of the list for district needs. I live in Chelsea. The park that is nearest me is on 10th Avenue, and between 21st and 22nd is the Clement Clark Moore Park. And I'm requesting a bathroom for the big kids like me and the little kids. And it's a park that probably has a lot of children. About 2/3 of the park, just an estimate, is playground with a lot of kids of different, ages. And I spoke to the parents, who told me that yes, they would love a park, that they often will have to make a request to the nearby diner or the deli, and they're told that they're not customers, but sometimes they're accommodated. It's uncomfortable for everybody. And it's something that I think might be a benefit to the community. I can't think of any other actually public parks that are nearby to this area, to the Chelsea area. The closest park that I know of is actually on 8th Avenue, about 13th Street. That has no bathroom either, but right now I'm just talking about the one on 10th Avenue.
So Miriam, we'll look into it, and I apologize, I don't know why Clement Clark Moore Park has been giving me such a tongue twister today. But it will be added in the it's okay, in the statement of district needs.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We do have a short list of bathroom requests for different parks, and that can definitely be one of them.
Okay.
Cause I know Miriam, we talked about this previously. Remember, I was gonna check for you, but we can do
Right.
that. Shouldn't be a problem. We got it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anyone else for parks? Oh, David, sorry, David, I saw you come over.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me, and nice to see everybody. Yeah, I did speak to Max tonight. I just wanted to chat real briefly about Matthews Palmer. So one of the things that I guess bothers me a little bit is that when we hear statistics in the parks, and we hear that we get these numbers and the numbers are changing up or down, is trying to understand the causal factors for that, and not having like numbers are great, but if we don't understand the causal factors, and if we're not kind of analyzing those and using that data, then I think that goes right to Paul's point about like park personnel, like a lot of city agencies, are overburdened, right? There's so much to do and they're understaffed. So if we started using data and we started like putting this data in and started understanding what these causal factors are, it might mean that we don't have to then, like put out every fire, because I think what I see happening more and more is that we have these small problems like Matthews Palmer, which I don't want to like undersell it, but it's like we have the scaffolding in Matthews Palmer and the crime it brings, and that means that the police now have to be involved and other city agencies are being involved. So city money is being spent to solve a problem because of scaffolding. And I think if we have these numbers and we understand what they mean, then we might be able to be more efficient in how we allocate personnel. So personnel could then be more efficient. So one of the things I would love to see at these things is not just the numbers, but what those numbers are telling us over time, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. The other thing is, I saw the letter you guys wrote, and I really appreciate that letter. It was really nice. I think it was very effective. But one of the things about the scaffolding in Matthews Palmer and in other playgrounds is that I feel like this issue is just going to kind of move past, and it's going to recur again and again and again, because we're not coming up with a solution. I put together like a whole packet of, I literally did a 5 whys analysis and put together like solutions and things that could be done. And I'm happy to send it to you. But I think like what I tend to see is that we look at these problems as little tiny fires and we put them out and then we forget about them. But there's 50 or 100 or 1,000 of these same fires happening all over the place, and we're not solving for the systemic problem. So I really wish that we would start focusing on the forest and not just on the trees. So that's all I had to say, and appreciate the time.
Thank you very much, David.
Let me just add something else. I
Yeah.
want to go back to Matthew's Palmer also for a second also. I thank you for that comment. I do want to share some pictures that were taken by PEP today. They reported to me this afternoon before this meeting, because I said I was coming and I might have to make some comments. They did send some pictures of what the conditions were like.
For PEP, they were there today.
They were there today. They are, I mean, I don't know what their usual routine is, but they are there. And I also want everybody to know that there was a lot of enforcement with their eyes on this park. So PEP goes, they're watching it, they're surveying the area, they're taking a look at it. I don't know if I mentioned the last time we had a meeting that we had closed up one of the sneak holes. There was some bottom rail that was missing because we were anticipating the work was going to progress much more quickly. The contractors sealed up that sinkhole, so that sneak hole, people don't get under the scaffolding anymore. So that was dramatic. My staff has told me that it's a changed scenario. But that's what it looked like this afternoon. I also want you to know that officers from, and I always get it confused whether it's which precinct it is, but on a particular afternoon, I also ran into officers from, I guess that's Midtown North,
Yeah.
who were there, Officer Gallagher and Reed, who were there. And so we're clued in to the concern at that location, and so they're keeping their eyes on it. And also in addition, even one of the local safety officers from one of the charter school units, she'll actually call me when she sees anything that's out of the ordinary, either at McCaffrey or at Matthews Palmer. So a lot of people are watching. They are stepping up to support us and keeping it as a safe location. I do think it's very important, very unfortunate that the delay in the work that we were expecting to start this summer has made an unfortunate opportunity for the people who don't use the park in its intended purposes. But for the community of the enforcement and people who are active in the community, are doing their best to keep it a safe place, and I want you to know that. I wish I had given those pictures before when I first spoke, but that's.
No, it's helpful.
That's also.
I mean, I know it's a snapshot of one day and but it's still helpful,
Yes,
very helpful.
and plus the other people who are actually aren't keeping their eye.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
Agent Hall, Justin said.
And you're gonna keep looking at it and we're gonna keep asking the question.
Well, it's helpful.
Yeah.
The question is
Great.
helpful.
Does anyone else have, oh, David, is that your hand from before or? You're on mute, David.
Yeah, that was new hand.
Oh, new hand, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to respond to that. I think that kind of is exemplary. What Paul was just talking about is what I was talking about, right? Scaffolding goes up as a solution, as the only solution. And because it goes up and the community complains, now you have PEP officers, New York City police officers, Parks Department, you have the community, you have you guys, you have DOB. Now suddenly, because of this one thing, you have all of these city agencies having to come together and take all of these resources. I don't know how many thousands or tens of thousands of dollars this is costing, but it's like, if we solve that problem, we don't have to have this kind of a force go into that park, and there is no problem to solve. So like, we need to focus on the causal factors of what is creating this, and like wasting city money and wasting community space and all these things, rather than, I don't really need an explanation about how many officers and how the committees are working together. What I need is, and what the community would love to see is, how are we solving the systemic problem? And that's the one thing I continually do not see. So I'm happy to help with that, and I've actually done work towards that. So I really appreciate that. And if you guys ever need me, I'm totally available for that. So thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Just
David.
to clarify, you're saying the problem with scaffolding in general is the root cause that you have solutions for.
I think
David suggested the last meeting, some of that netting, that wire netting like you see on the highways. I mean, I don't know if it works or it doesn't work, but it certainly sounds viable. Has anybody taken it any further than a suggestion?
Those pictures seem to show that.
I mean, there was a package of scaffolding specific bills that were passed, and I believe sent into law to city council. I don't know if they've considered that. The mayor has indicated that he also has interest in tackling the issue, so it does seem that there's interest in solving the root cause. I just don't know if they've considered David's specific solutions. I don't know if we can elevate them or share them with anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I know David, I know you have a healthy email back and forth to many important people that have seen some of those emails, so I don't know if you've gotten any positive responses for some of these very, I think, good suggestions.
I mean, Max did mention to me that this has gone up the chain, but he also said, look, like I'm kind of like an action first person, but it's like, he said it sparked many conversations, and conversations are wonderful. But if conversations just lead to this falling off the edge of the cliff and nothing's done, we're going to be back here again in a year talking about the same thing with the same city resources going to solve the same problem. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. Like, I literally put together a plan that was like, here are some just very common sense, very easy things to institute that could shift the burden from the city and from the community onto the owner of the building, who is putting up the scaffolding that is causing the problems. And I'm using scaffolding as an example. There's probably rats, there's trash, there's all the things that have been talked about tonight. Those are the same kind of systemic issues that can be addressed in the same kind of way if we're approaching it from a systemic point of view about solving the overall problem, rather than, cure the disease, rather than put the ointment on the rash.
Right. Thank you, David. Is there any other questions for, Parks? No? Okay, great.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for
Thank you.
staying. Thank you for staying through the big
Yeah,
DS.
that was good. I got my rap question.
So, thank you.
And I was, 20% is not too sneaks that, so.
Thank you.
Well.
For staying.
We appreciate your participating.
Okay, great. So two things. We were supposed to have, I think I mentioned at the beginning, but some people weren't here. So we were supposed to have a presentation by the EDC on the Blue Highway. So they came out with this plan over the end of last week, over the weekend, that they are having this Blue Highway plan, citywide Blue Highway plan. But some of the points affect our district. They were gonna come and present to us tonight, but they had to or wanted to do it with DOT, because though EDC is part of it, they're only part of the maritime section of it. Once these cargo hit the pier and hit land, then city DOT takes over. And I think that's gonna be the messier part of it, or the more complicated part of it, so DOT couldn't come today. But I just wanted to mention that to everyone, they will, both EDC and DOT will come to our transportation committee. I believe it's this month, I can double check, but I think they're coming to our transportation committee, which is good. So if anyone here, I mean, I know I'll be watching because of the WPE, I envision that there'll be a joint letter. But
You email the committee if it's on the agenda.
yeah, I think so, right, Janine, it's on transportation agenda?
We're still waiting to confirm with DOT, their schedule, but as of now, yes.
Okay, sounds good. And in the meantime, do you mind putting up, I sent you the, I just wanna show the committee, just so they get like a little bit of their eyeballs on the, on what EDC sent out to the public.
Sure, the cruise terminal one or the Blue Highways one?
Blue Highway.
Yeah, okay, 1 second.
Okay, so this is it. So if you scroll down. And I'll tell you why we're interested, well, we're definitely interested. We keep going. And anyone can get this and I think, is this in the Dropbox, Janine?
No, I didn't put it in, but I could throw it in there. It's
Can
also
you
on their
throw this in
website.
the- Yeah, keep going. Just, I just wanna show them the map, just so people get what we're talking about here. Okay, right there. Actually, can you go to the next one? I think the next one has the second layer. No, okay, go up, I'm sorry, go back to the first one. Okay, so if you see, here's 79. That is planned activation, so that is directly in our district, and that's where they plan to have some of these cargo barges, for the small packages come. And if you remember, that's gonna be right near where, if you remember, Hudson River Park Trust gave us a presentation on their Esplanade, renovation. So I know Hudson River Park Trust has definitely commented on this, concerned with some of the things that I know Transportation Committee will probably be concerned with and that we're concerned with. Okay, so now all the packages are here. You have all these micro mobility bikes here. Where are they going? Where are they parking? Where are the packages going? Are they going up and down the bike lanes there on the Hudson River Park Trust side? Where are they going across the highway? Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. Go up one more. Please, Janine, the next picture. And this is planned. If you see it says Midtown West Piers, that's Pier 90. So, excuse me, that's Pier 92, which is part of the Manhattan Cruise Terminal master plan. It's not where the ships dock, it's that one right north of it, in between 94, that new movie studio, production studio. And that's what they're calling Midtown West Piers. It's not right now, but that's their vision for it, and I believe eventually they'll have, greater detail or fees on that. So anyway, I just wanted to show people
That's the
this.
pier that's in disrepair.
Correct. I just wanted to show people this because, I think there's going to be a lot of conversation, especially transportation, about a lot of the details on this. We were not aware that EDC was coming out with this until it came out. Anyway, I don't know if anyone has any comments. Okay, you raised your hand, but if anyone, we're not gonna write a letter or anything, but we are gonna do a joint letter after transportation.
The pilot program from Weehawken to Pier 79, that cargo will be moved by airport or by ferries, not cargo ships or anything.
Great. Yeah, yeah.
So just like the existing passenger ferries, like.
Well, so essentially, they're partnered with a company called
Yes.
And I think, we actually saw one of these in Chelsea. It will be an e-bike. And they will have filled cargo things on the ferry. They'll come, pick it up the bike and deliver. And you know, Weehawken and the ferry terminal, there's an existing line there.
Yeah, that's why Katie brings up a great point. We don't anticipate the EDC portion of it, the maritime portion is going to be the biggest issue here. It's gonna be the land, the dropping land side of it is going to be fairly complicated, and that's really more DOT expertise, and that's their jurisdiction. So I think, though we might have some comment on it, I think it's important that our transportation committee really get eyeballs on this, and they'll have some comments too.
I hope they're mindful of the size of those electric bikes, because especially Pier 79. It seems like that's a surefire way to get electric bikes on the Empire Trail.
Yeah.
They already are.
No, but I know that's a concern of Hudson River Park Trust. They wrote a letter. I'm gonna send it to Christine in Transportation, that they wrote to EDC. I think expressing some of the concerns they had, like what's gonna happen? We have not only the electric bikes, but they're big, they're bigger. Yeah.
The top model.
Correct.
Fits on the back of the.
I don't think, it's not like the thing that looks like a car. I don't think it's that.
It's like a bike.
A bike with a trailer.
The trailer.
Because if it's that car thing, I don't know,
It might not fit through the bollards.
well, and also, but that car thing, isn't that all in one piece? Does the back does the storage part come off? I think it's all one piece and you're loaded. So then that, unless they're carting those things over on the ferries, the way it's written in there, it seems more like it's a little cargo trailer that will then be attached to a regular e-bike.
But I also think that you have to look for the future, like what they're gonna do, they might expand that, they might not, so you have to think of all these things ahead of time, and I think.
Technically, those basically cars on a bicycle are allowed in the bike lanes.
Yes.
And DOT did pass that as a thing, so.
Yeah.
Leslie, does it, I'm sorry, I'm not to like stick through this, does it specify if they're gonna sort of be designating like cargo bike pathways or they're just?
I don't know, you know what, Ginny, can you go down a little bit, I just wanna,
It's okay, I don't mean to.
No, it's okay, this is just the timeline, keep going.
But it just feels like if you're gonna be encouraging so much more utilization, I need more capacity.
Keep going.
like, system.
Suggestion. No, maybe not. Services, oh wait, there,
Like they
maybe.
must have a plan for this.
You'd be surprised.
This action plan seems to only be the maritime side of it, not what
The
happens.
DOT side,
Yeah.
yeah. If you could just scroll down a little bit more, Jean, I don't think it was that big of a document, I could be wrong, there it is. Micro freight, well, it looks like it has a little, if their illustration is any indication, but I think that might just be an illustrated icon. But it does say.
Because it says bike
For the
slash,
last one.
Van, bike/van compatible containers.
But again, you see that they're doing this citywide, so I think it really depends on the location.
Yeah, we don't know, right? That's why.
It raises all the problems.
That's what the questions are gonna do. If you can keep going down a little bit more, Janine. Please, thank you. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Land, that's it. So the land side access, I think like that's what we were saying is going to probably be the big question, a lot of the big questions. Not that EDC, we wouldn't have questions for them on the maritime side, but I think this is more the logistics part of it and how it's gonna affect people in the neighborhood and pedestrian traffic, other bike traffic, park goer traffic. Even coming out of the park and getting across the highway and then disperse, spanning out in the district, how is that going to happen? Keep going a little bit. Janine, you guys want those pictures there of the cargo bike corrals and down below it, I think.
This statement raises all the problems without saying any of the solutions.
Keep going, Janine, just a little bit down, yeah, so there, wires, yeah, so it says. This is what we need, this is what we need, so I'm not sure. Again, I'm sure Transportation Committee will flush out a lot of the questions and answers that, are going to be expected. Like, are you going to build the wider bike lanes before you do this, anyway, keep going, Janine. I think that was it. Yeah, see, they have a vision of a slightly different streetscape for this. Keep going. Micro hubs, keep going, keep going. I think this might be, we know the benefits. Keep going. Okay, I think it's, I mean, you can keep going, but I think, we get the point, we're not gonna write, like, I think we understand. So it's not that, I mean, of course, no one is going to be against the Blue Highway in concept, we have actually advocated for the Blue Highway, we even talked about it with the Manhattan Cruise Terminal plans for 92. But I think the devil's in the details with this one, as far as the implementation, so, yeah, let's see what happens in transportation, but I just wanted to give everyone just like an overview, so people kind of are in the know. The second thing is, Janine, if you would like, you can bring up the Manhattan Cruise Terminal Master Plan. So myself and the Transportation Committee and the electeds met with EDC on last Friday, where they gave us a preview of a detailed version of the master plan. It was made public this morning, public this morning. It is, there's a lot in here. If you guys are interested, this is the plan. They are going to look at it. I think it's in the Dropbox, or Jeannie will put it in the Dropbox. I can also email it to anyone, but the EDC is coming in December. And they're going to have the big presentation for the first time to the public on this master plan. So we probably won't be in this room. We'll probably need a bigger room. So we're gonna get another site, but just FYI, it will be not only a presentation to the WPE committee, but so far plans are that the EDC would like to use this as their first unveiling with public feedback. If you could scroll down, Janine, just to show people some of the design. Because, yeah, the beginning stuff is gonna be all, but they have the shore power, the public park space. Keep going down to the
84 pages.
Yeah, we just want some of the, I should have looked, Janine, I'm sorry, I should have looked and flagged a page or two for you before. But it's more, keep going, we just want just for the sketches of the plan, we don't need the history and. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, it should be coming up. And one of the things, and remember, if you remember, well, there's one, you can leave that. So, let's go down, yeah. So this is one sketch. If you remember, one of their big, I'm gonna show you guys. One of the big things that they asked for, or they're asking for, was the word exemption, so they can get these piers further out. The total was, I believe, about 600 plus square feet. They told us that this is going to be, the actual pier is about 300 plus square feet. The other 300, this doesn't really look, but it's to scale. But they said about that is not going to be actual pier, it's going to be dolphins, like little buoy. But they still need word of exemption, even though it's not a structure, they would still need it to go out, but it's a little more palatable than the structure itself, but. Right now, I don't know if that's the case. Oh, can you see that? But if you see, they're looking to make it a little bit more like an airport terminal that's elevated a little bit. So right now, all this bottom area that we are restricted from since 9/11 with the gates up, that's all gonna be open public park space. We talked about the historic little park over here. We wanna, you know,
Open up.
yeah, and have the historic elements too. This obviously is gonna have a lot of public comment on the details, but keep going, Janine, if you can go up. A little bit, I'm thinking there might be, I'm hoping there's more, keep going, I'm just looking for more sketches, just so. Yeah, let's see, so this is, yeah, right here. So this is the southern pier. This is where the trucks, you know how the trucks line up on the highway now, and that was one of our big problems. Waiting for the next day so they could service the ships. Right now, the trucks will come in and go underneath here and park here at night. This is all the tractor trailers are gonna fit under here. You see this whole top is going to be public park access. Might not be necessarily green, but they're gonna have some sort of public open space, the top part, so we can walk up and down that. Keep going, Janine. That's, by the way, that's the plaza, that's the. You see, this is another site. This right here is 92. This is what we're talking about. This is their that's part of the blue highway plan we just saw. You can see this is where they wanna put the little ferry, with the cargoes to drop off here and go in. At least that was, I think, in their minds. Keep going, Janine. Keep going. And yeah, keep going. I don't know if this is, unless someone wants to see. Okay, here, yeah. So all this is all park. So it's gonna be open waterfront, at least that's what they're planning. That's another park. Shore power was, I think it was right here, the substation we were all talking about. To get the little that substation there to service all these ships. Is planning on going here. And this is another thing, and again, transportation will take this up as well. So and I don't think Brad is on anymore, but another big issue we had was that when people would come off the cruise ships, they would just be dumped onto the west side highway. So now they want to bring that in, and they are making a drop-off pickup area off the highway, but kind of part of this terminal plan. Keep going, Janine.
What did they say about immigration security? About the passport security that the cruise ship terminals need?
So they wanna make it centralized like a airport terminal. So everyone gets dropped off, if they go through one area, they get their security, it's gonna be like an airport, like up here, and then then they're clear.
And that will be secure in a way that the rest of us could use the rest of the park, is that what they're saying?
Correct.
Good
I
luck.
mean, I'm not
Well, it sounds like the park would be separate from where people are checking in,
Yeah.
so unless you're going into the physical terminal.
yeah, and again, I'm not speaking for EDC, I'm
No, I agree.
kind of trying to reiterate what I remember of the presentation. This is, by the way, this is the ferry vessels again, this is what they're talking about with the blue highway. Keep going. Thanks, Janine. See right there, arrival hall, party, and then baggage claim, public luggage. They said to think of it a little bit like an airport, but it's a much smaller scale for ships. Oh, and this is parking garage, is on this side, is up here. Which I think Christine was at the meeting, I don't want to speak for her, I think she liked that it was centralized here, I'm sure transportation will have more details on that and questions. Keep going, Janine. I don't know if they have, keep going.
You think we're gonna re-see these slides in December?
Yes, not only, yes, and it's going to be a very detailed presentation, but we can see.
Also, this is public, like a public.
This is public, you could go look at this now, I mean, it was just released today.
I was surprised that they wanted to use our committee meeting as the moment for their public presentation, their wide public, so that Jesse has to run around and find a larger venue for us.
It was always 50. 257.
Yeah, well, we asked that, we don't mind, they asked, you know,
But
can
it's
we,
not a
can
good
we?
setup, though. I fear it. It's not good.
Well, they said, I mean, we'll find something, don't worry, but
Just as good as that.
we, they asked, they're like, do you mind if we also advertise, and of
Let's do
course,
that.
yeah, so of course. So, I don't know if you guys wanna see more of this, but you can see it's in the Dropbox, so it's public, you can just go online, I think. And I think we can go online and take a look at it. But anyway, but I just wanted to keep, you know, to have everyone,
Thank you for the heads up.
yeah, to see it, so. That's gonna be a probably pretty good, again, a lot depends on this, oh, see, that's the booze, see, doesn't, they told me, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not 300.
Also,
Extra.
maybe get into like their timeline for a WRDA exemption.
Yeah, they seem pretty under the gun to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like November,
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
no,
not November.
yeah, like probably by the end of the year, maybe, so I think. I mean, listen, I'm not sure what Congressman Nadler is thinking.
Yeah.
Or the other electeds, I know there has been talk back and forth about, you know, yes, we want this quicker, sooner rather than later because of shore power. But we want to be very careful about the WRDA exemption, so I think they're trying to navigate that now, how to balance that. Yeah,
In your one of the slides, you pointed out where they're gonna put the substation for electricity.
Mhm.
It's right exactly in the location of that park that we don't have access to.
yeah, it is, but they're widening it, so there's gonna be plenty of park space there as well. Cause we were talking about making it so there were people at one of the meetings, Katie, you might be interested in this, cause I know you brought up that space. There was, some of the river users, like the man-powered boat, like the kayakers, the sailor, all those people. And, those organizations mentioned that historic little area. And that maybe we can even enhance it as a little, I don't wanna say a museum, but a display of maritime history and whatever was there, kind of buff it up a bit too, and EDC seemed pretty amenable to that as well.
What I was thinking when I said that is that if that indeed is the area they're gonna put the substation in, that solid ground is already there and they should have no excuse for delaying shore power anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if it's right there or it's gonna be.
They're
I'm
gonna
not
say
sure.
it's not right there, of course, and we can't do it now, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
We have to keep pressuring them for shore power soon, or rather than later, or.
yeah. Can you just scroll a little bit more, Janine, just really quickly? I just wanna see if they have keep going, this is all just like their kind of movement and stuff. Keep going, not that we don't care, but this is like baggage handling and. Just keep going real quick, I wanna see if there are some, oh, like that, okay, that's exactly, so do you see how, if you look in the back, that's public right there,
The green.
the green little triangles. I mean, that's not really, they said it could be all green, it's not, there's a little bump out there where people can go and sit. And you see the trucks are going underneath, and then on top, you might see little people, you know, that's also green, I shouldn't say green space, but public space.
So it feels like they're raising the security off the ground level. And the ground level will be more open and the secured area after passports and all that will be on the upper levels.
I think we can ask them that for sure, I'm not sure, yeah, I think so.
I just care that the bottom part is
Well,
open.
the security currently is on the upper levels, it's not on the ground level.
And the thing
No, but
is
we
that
can't get in on the ground level, so it really starts on we can't get through. We can't, the public can't, again, they say it's security.
Well,
after.
No, we
9/11,
can't go.
They
They
sealed the whole
have it
damn thing
sealed
off.
up.
I've walked on the parking garage.
Right,
If cruise ships are taking people, you could walk through, how do they know you're not a cruise person? But the inside looks like an old airport, and the security is all upstairs before you get further in.
That's right.
Can you keep going, Janine? There might be one or two sketches right after this one, I'm guessing. Yeah. See, that's the back end. Or excuse me, the side, that's the south side. I think that triangular building area might be the substation, I could be wrong. They said they're gonna integrate it into like the landscape. Keep going, Janine. Please.
Did they identify that area because of its proximity to the 49th Street substation?
Or no, it's a good question. I'm not sure. Keep going. Keep going, looking for there.
Yeah, that's
Let's go down
interesting.
there.
Maybe
See, that's,
find-
they're gonna open all that up again to us.
They may be trying to find a way to get the wires in less expensively than from 11th Avenue.
Keep going, Janine. Yeah, so that's looking south now. So anyway, I mean, you can see all this, but I just wanted to show you this, the sketches came out. Everyone is, kind of interested.
Every time we drive down the West Side Highway going south and we see one of those monsters in port, it feels like an affront to the neighborhood, that big floating hotel.
That's
So
Yeah.
huge, yeah.
So, and they're also going to, they said significantly widen the bike lanes and the pedestrian lanes. They said it'll be like quite significant. Keep going, Janine, just a little bit more and then we can wrap this up.
It's like really narrow right now.
It's super narrow.
It's like,
Yeah,
Do they have to get permission from the state to do that?
I think they can use their own land, like some of it is there.
but we're talking about the green,
Yeah, I mean, we can ask them, I don't know.
so that becomes.
Keep going, Janine, just a few more.
To be determined.
Yeah, we can ask them, we can definitely, just keep all these questions. Janine, is it done, or is it?
No, on page 54.
There's
84
pages.
Yeah, we don't have to go do it. Anyway, that is that, and I, obviously, I mean, I don't have to say this probably, but this is going to be a significant, if we thought Port Authority was big, this is going to be a significant project in our district yet again. That is going to have many layers, many layers, many, cross committees and many years. And, so stay tuned, but it's also exciting. I mean, that is an old term, it's an old terminal that needs to be.
Did we approve the letter for sanitation?
No, that's at the end, we can do letter, you wanna do that? Anyways, anybody have any questions on this or questions for us or?
Can you email it, like you said?
Yes, I can even. Janine, do you mind emailing that to the committee or maybe I can just email it.
Sorry, say that again?
Can you email that to the committee, this plan?
Sure, it's in the Dropbox now, I put it in there, but I'll send it around too.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so our last thing is, I guess, a letter. Does anyone want to recommend? Oh, yeah, thank you. Sorry. New bit, that's right, I have it here. Another new business, I just wanna, thank you, Sally. Sally brought this up to me before too, like last week, right? There was a report or, not a report, accurate, that Blade, the heliport is going to now service a commuter line from Westchester to here and back and forth. So I know that raised a lot of eyebrows because we have been trying to close the heliport, or at least close it to regular commuter traffic. And that was just announced. So I talked to Noreen at Hudson Park Trust, what does this mean? What's going on? And she told me, and she said, listen, they have a cap of how many helicopters can come each day. They're not even near it. They're not even near the cap yet. And they expect that this is going to increase maybe 2 to 3 in the morning, more helicopters, and 2 to 3 in the mid-evening, when it's commuter time. Like
Yeah, the schedule looks like it's 3 in the morning, 3 at night.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not gonna be super significant bump, but it's something. And there might even be some other flights that they're going to eliminate. So it's not that we're gonna see a steady now crazy traffic from Westchester coming every hour, every half hour. Unfortunately, there is this number that they are allowed to service daily. And they haven't even with this, they haven't even, from what I heard, come close to that number. So if they wanted to, they could.
If we are stuck with the heliport, it seems we are, can we work on lowering that cap so we don't continue to get more and more? Cause if you're saying they have all this space, what's stopping them from putting in more and more and more service?
Nothing except for the economy.
Yeah, so can we do something to lower that cap so that it puts a safeguard in case this were to somehow be a booming business? That they can't start putting in flights every half hour.
Yeah, I mean,
Does Robert or Mary know like what imposes that cap? Like, is it their lease with the
that's
trust?
a good question.
Or is it
A federal
or
or.
is it a state legislative?
That's a good
like,
question. I don't know.
But Robert would probably know.
Yeah, we got an easy question. I have a feeling, and maybe I think it's a lease thing, but
I assumed it was a
I think it's a lease
but-
thing. I just don't know.
And if it's their lease, then do they have the ability to negotiate that? Or if they do, will they have that ability in 5 years or 2 years or something?
And
So
Is there a lease long term or is it not? I thought it was month to month.
I don't know, you might be correct.
I thought it was month to month because there was still like uncertainty of what was happening and they were just kind of operating. I feel like I heard that at some point, but I might be wrong.
And if it is a month-to-month lease, then you could, and if it is a lease cap, then that would be an easier way, but we
The
would
question would be,
figure
would
out.
the park be animal or such?
I just want to say the obvious, starting a new service is clearly not a movement in the direction of closing. Right.
Well, the big thing is they're launching it in November and they're viewing it as, hey, come down to Hudson Yards, but you don't have to drive here. That's 100% how it's being pitched. I know because I wrote a story about it.
Yeah,
Not a good story.
yeah. So anyway, thank you, Sally. I'm sorry.
Is it, before you get to new letters, I had a question, my
Yes.
memory may be failing me, but, last meeting, we were going to write a letter, I thought, to Parks. David's comment brought it back to me about the scaffolding, and I had mentioned at that time that I wanted to include his concept of that, of looking at things that are the source of the problem. We talked about it last time, we talked about it again, and of course, it makes perfect sense. And I thought that was going in a letter last.
I think what Matt said was that the rules as to how scaffolding is done is DOB. So Parks has no say over how the scaffolding is done. DOB has a specific way, you have to put something up, this is what you use. So if we wanted to write a letter, it would have to go to DOB. And be something like, if you are putting up scaffolding in a park area, like this is what you can use.
Yeah, they have
Parks can't make that
We
determination.
should start it I mean, he makes so much sense, I mean, it's what happens, nothing ever gets done, he makes so much sense, and I don't know where we initiate the process of people.
I would talk to Eric, because he's done scaffolding legislation and it can be something that.
Well, it's not just scaffolding, I mean, that's what's standing in front of us at the moment, scaffolding is just
You're
one.
talking
of
about
the-
general city bureaucracy?
General bureaucracy, but yes, he has, suggestions for how to deal with it here in the parks, and he keeps talking about it, and nothing happens, and maybe Eric is the person, but, very frustrating.
Yeah,
Look, I can't even get an answer on a Kirk.
true.
I told him one, I said, I'm not asking anymore,
I mean, change legislation can be hard, especially the scaffolding issues are ones that people have been trying to move on for many years, and this, I think, was the first year in many years we had any major package of legislation passed.
But I mean, just to reiterate, like, when I looked at this in my first board tenure, we made a bunch of.
I remember your big scaffolding
I
project.
was on the board path, and most of them ended up in that legislation, but, DOB does put out sort of like design specs and approve certain types of scaffolding, so if there's a new sort of class of like something that would count as scaffolding or be approved that we want, that would go to the, just want to reiterate, so we could just summon DOB again, or write them a letter and have this like particular. Yeah, and then copy Parks, on it, but I think that would be the place to go on this particular.
We can talk about that next meeting.
Like, that should require legislative change, that's like you approving, like a additional type of scaffolding that owners would use.
And I'm not sure if David shared the suggestions for the.
Yeah.
I think there was an email that may have gotten to just community people, that would
Okay.
need to be shared.
Cause I would,
I'll ask him.
just design standards, or it sounded like he was had big ideas.
No, he shared a few emails. I'll ask him. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if we shared them with a greater audience.
I mean, if there was a pre-existing scaffolding design that would offer the deterrence that we're seeking. It seems like it'd be a pretty easy letter. You know, to her point, if we can identify that design, say we encourage you to approve this and send it back to DOT.
I think there
They
is,
do have designs.
I think
it's
that
just
it's
a matter
very
of cost.
expensive,
Yeah,
yes,
it's just cost prohibitive.
they're very expensive, I know, if you,
So this is the same department that, you know, like Parks is spending $7 million on a bathroom.
well,
right?
but it's the private people pay for it.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, it's property owners.
It's property
Yeah,
owners that
sorry.
are-
But even if it's just on the approved menu, then it's like, okay, a property owner wants to pay for parks.
But they do,
They
You know,
that does happen, so I don't know if you guys ever go up to the Upper West Side,
It's another
where,
country.
where across from Lincoln Center, where the Mormon, Latter-day Saints building is. They're doing, and they even, you know, have a whole lane of traffic, it's not going, cutting Broadway, do you know what I'm talking about? Right next to the Folk Art Museum. This,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, there's a lot of scaffolding.
so the scaffolding is beautiful, like it's these white arches.
Yeah, it's up by the film center, that's an existing thing.
It's urban umbrella,
It's, it's different, there's no, it's white, it's lit, and it looks like they're like, what's it called, buttresses.
It's in many parts of the city.
Yeah.
Especially in fancy Midtown.
Correct, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
so it's there, but I'm saying that is, the property owner or the building owner
But
decided
I think
to
what David
pay
was
more
talking
for
about
that.
was
beautiful-
actually not having scaffolding,
Yeah,
but
something
putting some kind of mesh against the facade to prevent any loose pieces from falling. Which I think is a whole other beast, because how do you secure it? You have to drill into the facade, does that cause more structural issues?
Yeah, and by the way, I just think, can I stop this for 1 minute? I think this is not a WPE issue.
I was thinking that.
You know, it's not a parks environment, I didn't say that in the
We
right.
just unfortunately, it has a lot of parks with scaffolding.
Yeah, so, but I can circulate David's email around if you, okay. Thank
Yeah,
you,
you're right, it's not about staff, it's something different than staff.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why don't we, one more,
Yeah.
just to wrap this up, one letter, if, someone else will have to make a motion, but I can just put him to DSNY, thanking them for coming. Maybe we can mention, green wire baskets is the preferred basket. I don't know if everyone agrees on that, or maybe we could just say that there are benefits.
Having baskets and ensuring that we, have at least 2 per intersection. I mean, I think if we have intersections that have nothing and then intersections that have 4, we can at least broadly distribute to make sure there are at least 2 on every intersection.
Yeah, so just so you know, I don't wanna ask for more baskets because we are maxed out.
It's the distribution of no, I'm not talking about asking for more baskets. Normally there's a basket on every single corner, that's 4 corners in the intersection.
Yeah,
There are some intersections that have no baskets and there are some that have all 4. Can we redistribute them to make sure there's a minimum of 2 baskets at every intersection? One on the north, one on the east, one on the west, one on the north, one on the south, like diagonal from each other.
And this is an exact duplication of a letter that I wrote to CCBA when we were asking for distribution, exactly that proposal, we don't need 4, give us 2, just make sure.
Yeah, because if they're low on resources, we can allocate them in a better way.
Just redistribution.
yeah. So just so you guys know, he told me this before, hey Max. So, oh, thank you.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, are you proposing this? Something we don't know? Well, there's a suit.
That's what's called a grand entrance.
I'm on my way home right now.
Yeah.
I gotta stop by.
And you stole their centerpiece.
Yeah.
So, we are supposed to have 764 baskets. When I talked to him last, 81 are missing, either they're damaged or someone takes them. But he said you guys are like maxed out, like your district is actually really, really good on baskets. Yeah, so anyway, just FYI, we're topped out for baskets, but I see what you're saying, the more the even redistribution.
Yeah, if there is a corner that for some reason there are no baskets and one block up, there's 4, just move some down.
The other thing is, so I don't know if you wanna mention the green wire baskets.
So the one like element here is we have previously advocated
For the
for the
Better bins.
Which
I
is
know.
not to say that we should not, like, if when we have missing baskets, maybe we do replace them with green wire bins, but.
I think it's a matter of not advocating for any specific things. but advocating for when replacement bins become available, regardless of what type they are, we would like replacement bins to be put in our district. So then it's just more in general of, we're not saying we want specifically the green wire, we want specifically the better bin. Just when bins become available, please.
But we,
take
but we
whatever
could, but we, even though we've advocated, we could always say, listen, we can even say, we have advocated for these bins before, we are noticing that there are some problems with these bins. We understand that, you know, the wire bins
Well-
don't have these problems, and don't say we want this or that. But just kind of note the pros and cons.
And we could also just specifically note that where these are recurring problems, it might be appropriate for sanitation to have like a.
Do we
you
know where
wire bin.
do we know where there are recurring problems?
I assume they know.
Oh,
They would know.
let ask that.
Yes,
See,
I mean, where they put, where
yeah,
they
like
put
how
it.
actually appropriate, so basically like if there
Oh,
are
I see.
continuous graffiti or door issues. And fewer rat issues, maybe that is a green wire bin, I don't know, this is above it.
Yeah, and if you really wanna prevent more better bins coming, you have to tell Eric not to put that in his discretionary budget, because that's where they're coming from.
Well, this letter will be to him also,
Okay,
so, yeah.
cause they're not really coming majority from sanitation, they're coming from.
Yeah, he's
discretionary
asking for
funding.
better bit, right?
I'm very happy.
Oh, I see what you mean, yes.
I'm very happy to pull back our move. I remember when we wanted to have better bins. But what I heard tonight convinces me that that's not a wise thing to do. I'm very happy to officially pull back on the better bins and think the wire bins are the better bins.
Or just that in some instances, some are better than others.
Yeah,
That
oh, we
might-
recognize, like, we can word it.
The better bins are meant, not the best bins.
Yeah,
They're just
that's
better.
very good.
It's all true.
It's also really difficult, because
Best bins
we're
are-
advocating for something that's counter to what the city is moving towards, because they want all bins to be the better bins.
Yeah.
That's, you know,
Because.
Not
rats-
Frank does not want.
yeah, well, that's the big ways, and the very expensive McKinsey study.
Okay, so, also, we want to thank him on the gap truck. And maybe he can add he said he wants to look for those other days of. Yeah, the three other days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, I believe. I think what do we feel about Gail's coming up bill about expanding summons hours for storefronts? So they can get a handle on that.
yeah, let's do that.
Sure.
As long as it is sort of, you wanna make sure that small businesses have the ability to clean their storefront in that first hour, it sounds like that's where the fighting deal would be. But like, if, you know, someone messes up my storefront overnight, like, of course you wanna give,
Yeah,
like, a small business.
yeah, it sounds like.
Well,
we're
that's why you
talking
can't do
now.
it in the first hour. You're not
Well,
allowed
yes,
to.
but like, it seems like up for debate in the future is whether or not they can, from what.
No, it's because it's only 1 hour now, in the morning
Yes.
and 1 at night. But the hour,
No, that's for residential. The times for commercial could be any time during the day.
no,
You know?
no, that's what he said. They can't. It's one, it's opposite.
Right, but the bill is,
The bill is
The village
We
will
don't know
expand
the
it.
bill.
we're not sure when the bill
Right.
is going to
I
start.
think we have to wait.
He's talking about whether or
No, I
not.
think, no, I
That's
think
what
we wanna,
it's produced.
talk to Gail now and tell her we are
Because it's
just.
going to, so the ask is for Gail to come to talk about the bill.
No, we want to comment on what we would like to see in the bill.
Well, we haven't even, okay, I mean, I think we need to probably see draft language and
I
have
agree
Gail
with
come
that.
in. To understand it before we offer comments on it.
I disagree. I think we can definitely comment that storefronts are a problem. And whether
We're
that's addressed
interested-
through a bill or not bill, whatever it is,
So we're-
We would like.
maybe we won't comment on language of a bill, but maybe we can comment that it's a problem and that we would like to see hours expanded. Whatever they wanna draft the language is fine.
Yeah, we're interested in learning more about, you know, the legislative
Yeah, and being.
language of the bill
involved.
and being involved and, yeah.
The bill may be online to look at, I mean, I
It's,
haven't.
no, but he said it's still being.
But I-
looked at. It's not
Maybe
finished.
I
the
just-
answer is to just say we are interested in resolving the logistical or helping resolve the logistical problem of. Sanitation issuing businesses cleaning summonses. Because what they're saying is they have this logistical problem because of the hours.
Correct.
We are interested in that being fixed. we're not necessarily saying how or maybe.
No, why not? Why wouldn't we say that we would like to see the hours expanded so that
I mean,
DSNY
that's the
has.
logical conclusion. We'd like
Right.
the hours to be extended, like that.
What, is that not, why wouldn't, I mean, we don't need, we don't need a bill to direct us.
Leslie, I think the issue is we don't wanna support legislation that we haven't seen, but I think we can say that we support exploring, expanding the hours. Not saying we support Gail's legislation, it's not even written
No,
yet.
it's not, no, we're
But
not
if we
gonna
say we
do that.
support the idea of expanding
better.
the hours of enforcement.
Perfect.
Yeah,
But not the first hour of business.
Well,
I don't think we need to put that in.
I think it's too much
Just more
detail.
general.
Yeah,
We
just-
support.
yeah, we
Yeah.
get more general at this point, but.
yeah, and we can write it so to say, so at least DSNY has. Cause right now their staff doesn't match the hour, you know, it doesn't match up, they can't,
Expand the hours to resolve logistical issues
Correct.
and
yeah,
issuing
I agree,
appropriate summonses.
yeah. We don't have to get into Gale or the bill
Yeah,
or
that's,
anything.
that's the
like
way
that.
it sounded like it was going.
Sorry, yeah, okay, no, this is better, thank
Okay.
you. That's it. Unless
I would
there's
just, I would
something
just
else.
add, we look forward to having a conversation about sustainability, green initiatives, in that future conversation.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? Also, I wanted to also ask, he said that their 10-year swamp plan was coming out soon. I'll say that we're looking forward to seeing that. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's tied to both.
Well, that's not really about sustainability.
No,
The solid waste management plan is like how it's managing the solid waste. I don't know how much that gets into the sustainability side of things.
he
I think
said that
we
he
could
would come
tie it
back
in with
though,
good
right?
wording.
Well, no, it's not him. He needs someone to
He needs
take care
someone else.
of.
Recycling and
Sustainability.
recycling and sustainability, but
Right, but he said he would share that with us, right?
Yeah, we
So we
could-
should, we look forward to seeing that. as well.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Anything else to them? I mean, I think they were pretty thorough at explaining things, but if there's anything that you guys think we should.
And no fines for community-based organizations,
Yeah, we should put that, we had a very strongly worded letter that included that.
We haven't seen anybody with 2 stars in. We haven't had chiefs in.
No, we've only had Marissa.
Right.
I don't know that Steve's ever come to the meeting.
Yeah,
Steve,
I mean,
Steve,
Steve Cruise.
is he uniformed? Yes, he's
Yeah.
a superintendent. He
I
just
think-
works in community affairs.
I think that's a real compliment to us that you came.
Leslie made it happen.
Okay, then let's compliment Leslie.
Except for Leslie, they wouldn't be here.
Thank you, but it was just
I know, it was
Fortuitous.
an on the street event.
yes, it was good. Okay,
Let's
I make most.
Sure, I was
Go
just
ahead.
thinking, would it be worth it to actually put in the letter to welcome quarterly or annual meetings? with the
Yeah.
chief?
we could say that it was so successful, we want you to come
Yeah.
every month, no, I'm just kidding, but yes, to maybe do it on some sort of
Great.
I think
semi-regular
quarterly
basis.
Could make or twice annual, and it's not like parks where we need them to come every single week.
Even if it were once a year,
Right.
for God's sakes.
Here.
Uh,
Well, once a year is also important for budget reasons.
Yes,
But I think if it were twice a year, then maybe we wouldn't take like 2.5 hours of their time. It's interesting. But who knows? We might take 5 hours of their time.
Yeah.
but you know what, even if he come, because they were gonna come today on video, on Zoom. And then he decided, he's like, no, you know, I'll come in person, I'm here, which was great, you know, I think it's better with the public and the back and forth, but it's okay if you come, you know, one of the times they come on Zoom, so I think they can swing more than once a year. You know. But we can, I think it's a great idea, actually, because it was so informative and.
It's great.
Yeah. Look at, we're all jazzed up on trash. So great. Okay. Okay, anything else to put in that letter?
We should add G to our waterfront parks, environment and garbage.
Garbage. Yeah, seriously. Anyone else? That's it?
Make a motion.
Someone make a motion for that letter? Thank you. All in favor?
Made it second.
All in favor, Sally? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, present not eligible, abstentions, great. Anyone else? New business? I mean, old business, new business, nothing? make a motion for meeting to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. This was good. Ma-
If you do my pet podcast, I mean, if you.
Yes.
Oh,
group photo.
that's.
I'll take it, yeah. We'll hear your thoughts out after.
All right.
Thanks, Leslie. Night, everyone.
Oh, Brennan, thank you so much.
Yes, sorry about my camera issue.
No, I know you
yeah.
texted me. I apologize.
Yeah, no
Thank
worries,
you.
no worries. Yeah, of course.
We'll
All right.
talk. You know what? I'll email you
Yes,
tomorrow or text you
perfect.
tomorrow.
All right, looking forward to it.